What you're trying to say is, Zach, you need to get an apartment.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's becoming more and more of a fucking problem. But, well, because now I'm getting, because they have this thing on Long Beach called Roommate Finder. How are you as a housemate? Like, are you dirty? Are you clean? What are you into?
My name is Zach. I'm into hockey and air compressors and Crisco. Put that up there and see what you get.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
I keep thinking today's Thursday. I was going to ask who's on tonight, but it's Friday.
Well, there's Friday night CFL action.
Is that?
In fact, Edmonton's playing Montreal. Edmonton's kicking the crap out of Montreal, actually.
Of course Edmonton's playing. They're America's team.
They're on whatever record.
The Edmonton Eskimos.
Since we're talking about the CFL.
Could I just interject for a second? This will be, I think, 4 weeks in a row we've talked CFL football, which is awesome. But
It's
go
the
ahead.
summer.
Yeah.
Did you see what Saskatchewan?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of jerseys and the like, yes.
Oh,
I don't what the... Okay, Saskatchewan. I understand. Okay, Saskatchewan. I understand as a collective province, you guys are really proud of your grains and wheats and whatever it is that you grow on the plains of Saskatchewan.
The new sponsorship patch at the Saskatchewan party.
No way.
No.
Oh,
No.
so I was going to say, that would be the most awesome thing ever.
The Saskatchewan party, the official sponsor of the Saskatchewan party.
They remind me, I see these, and they remind me of something from a comic book movie, but I can't place it. Does that make sense?
It's like the shitty Green Lantern.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like the texture of it.
They look like watermelons.
Yeah.
From afar, like if you don't know those are supposed to be grains, you either think, well, they took that Seattle Seahawks thing and ran with it, or you think they look like watermelons.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about these.
You know what the connection is between watermelons and Rough Riders fans.
Is there a connection?
Gallagher, a Rough Rider fan?
Okay, so you know how Packers have
Gallagher.
the cheese heads?
Yeah.
Well, this is what Saskatchewan Rough Riders fans have.
Oh, boy.
Please don't tell me they're watermelon heads.
Yes, that's exactly what they are.
Well, maybe they have a point. The thing that really bugs me about these jerseys, honestly, or the whole uniform, is that they don't have a helmet logo.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing's kind of ugly, but it would be at least 10 times better if they put the logo back on the helmet instead of the tramp stamp logo that it is now.
That I'm pretty sure half of the time that thing is obscured anyway when it's
right.
Like depending
either
on
by somebody's back pad or being tucked in or something.
There's actually quite a few new jerseys and stuff have been released today. I'm looking at my Facebook feed. I'm trying to link to. Did you guys see the new Rays?
Yes.
Alternate
faux back.
Yeah.
Where they're like. Where the helmet, where the hat and the jerseys look like they're from two separate uniforms.
Right, and these look like a cross between a Padres jersey and...
No, they're complete ripoffs of the Padres jersey.
It's like they basically just took the Padres template from the 70s.
Right, but I meant color-wise. I mean, obviously it's a ripoff of the Padres jersey. I mean, that's clear.
Even the font. It's the same damn font that the Padres used. And the same hat design. And the thing that bothers me, these would be... I hate the faux back thing as it is. They've done enough with it to it's like, okay, this is fine, even though it's the Padres. This version, I hate because the white panel just is so off.
It's so out of place when you pair it with the jerseys, which essentially have yellow sleeve panels.
Well, what they've done here is...
The hat needs to have the yellow panel, or the jersey needs to be white with the light blue sleeves, because these are supposed to be home versions of the dark blue ones that they already wear.
Except that they wore the dark blue ones at home, so...
Right, but then they're going to wear these ones on the road in Wrigley Field.
But they're the home versions.
What these are, basically, is they have taken every aspect of a 70s uniform and thrown it into these. with no rhyme or reason. You've got the panel on the hat, which makes no sense with the jersey. You've got the Padres rip-off, the pullover jersey, the whole bit. They're not good.
Look,
the thing is, it's not just a 70s rip. It's not like a full 70s ripoff. It is the San Diego fucking Padres.
Yeah, exactly.
Every inch of it is the Padres uniform.
That's what bugs me about this.
Here's what was posted in the thread.
One of my favorite types of threads to see in the concept section on the Kramer boards is to see when they do when people say like, what if and the Rays are a perfect team. They say like, well, what if the Rays had existed since like the early 1900s, and then they
it's an interesting concept.
It is an interesting concept, and a lot of people who do those sorts of concepts come up with really cool ideas. Oh, this is what the Rays would have looked like in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I have seen very creative Tampa Bay Rays faux back designs. This is not one of them.
Right. Like, you can have an interesting, design, an original, interesting design.
That harkens back to the 70s.
Right. That doesn't need to be the Padres jersey template, the Padres font, the Padres, not even just name font, but location font, and the same design on the hat. It's not even like they went with a full front panel. They went with the angled triangle
that the Padres use. Yeah,
right. They did, and now to put yellow sleeves and shoulders on it, it's like the one I just sent you guys, except instead of light blue, it's brown. That's the thing I don't like, is that it's, if you wanted to be the San Diego Padres, then
also. I can't.
The Tampa Diego Bay Padres.
Diego Bay, I like that.
Diego Bay Padres.
And one of the things I've never been able to figure out is that supposed to be a sun or like orange?
It's a sun. It's supposed to be a sun, but
sun.
But I can't remember. Ray Sox Mike described it on the logo cast. He referred to it as a sphincter of some sort.
Yeah, it kind of looks like an anus.
And the way he described it was hysterical. I wish I could remember how he said it so that I could give it justice, but it just cracked me up.
And who's Zim?
Don Zimmerman.
Did he have anything to do with the...
I think he coached there for a while.
He was a coach.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don Zimmer.
Yeah.
Well, did I say Don Zimmerman?
Yes.
I'm the same guy.
But no. But well, I've heard somebody. I forgot who it was, but someone suggested the Rays should just use the fullback stuff as their full-time uniform. No, that would be terrible. There's a very good reason this style of uniform went out of style. Mm-hmm. So,
by the way, speaking while we're on the uniform track. The Buccaneers and Jaguars are currently playing.
I saw. I am not happy about
and
that. And
you know what? Unpopular opinion.
Oh no!
Hold on. I didn't think it was possible after seeing all the unveilings and stuff. But in this game, the Jaguars are still the worst looking team on the field.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Those Bucks, that Bucks look, I still can't bring myself to like it.
Here's the link to it so you can look through them, Greg. Here's my defense of it. Mm-hmm. On the field, from a viewing standpoint, on TV, from far away, these look okay. Could the where's my? I wrote it down. They don't look as horrible. The spray paint helmet stripes are still very dumb. The logo on the helmet's still just one size too big. But the numbers don't look as bad from a distance when you can't see the notches in them, and then when I don't have to look at a 5 or a 2. But I think for the full uniform, from head to toe, on the field with a team against another team, the red and pewter balance is actually pretty good, and I think it's fine. The devil's in the details. They look awful when you're up next to them, like when they get the zoom-in shots.
I don't like and
the game's not late enough yet. I don't think we've seen any of the reflective numbers just
yet. Someone posted a picture of the reflective numbers if you scroll down to the punter.
Oh, we got the reflected numbers already?
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah. All right, I see.
Wait, I'm still working my way down.
Yeah, okay, those are dumb. But I think they're okay. They're not the abominations that I once thought, but they're okay.
I tell you what, you know what? I'm going to have to join you on this unpopular opinion. Now, granted, let's keep in mind that I don't think that they are by any definition what I would call a great uniform.
No.
But on the field, like Zach said, from far away, they don't look terrible. And honestly, neither do the Jags, surprisingly.
I can't get the Jaguars helmet. I just can't.
The helmet's a complete joke, but the rest of the uniform and the all-white, and this is what I've been saying about their look all along, if they would just ditch the monochrome look and stick with the white pants, it wouldn't be a half-bad set if they fixed the helmet. But honestly, the Bucs, I'm surprised. It's now granted, it's not an up-close shot, but it's not awful. Let's put it this way. We haven't torn a hole in the time-space continuum, which is what I thought would happen when this game was played, and it didn't, so that's a good start.
The two things that bug me, even from the TV angle for the Buccaneers, I will say this. Granted, the helmet does not look as mismatched as I thought it would. But
the other thing, speaking of the helmet, the chrome face mask is bothering me. But
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is dumb. But one of the things about it is that when you take a look at these TV view angles, you don't even notice the black spray painted lines on the helmets, which begs the question why they would even do it.
If you look for it, you can tell.
But
the average person's not going to notice.
If you don't know, go ahead, Mike.
The two things that really stand out as egregious, even from there's three. The number font, I still don't like it. I still think, honestly, they could have benefited from just a standard block font.
Definitely.
I think I don't like the pants stripes. I mean, the Jaguars have the truncated pant stripes too, but the Jaguars' pant stripes are truncated in a way that I think works better. The Buccaneers are truncated, but they also have a bit of a curve to them. I'm not a fan of that. And the big sin of these uniforms, in my opinion, is the pewter shoulders, because one of the things that I loved about the Buccaneers' use of pewter in their previous set was that it was so minimal. It was almost like the way that the Cowboys use silver. I mean, it really didn't appear on the jerseys, but it didn't have to appear on the jerseys. It just appeared on the helmets and the pants, and it all really sort of tied together nicely. And I don't like taking the pewter and then putting it onto the actual jerseys. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's, again, I don't want to make it sound like I think these look good. I'm just saying they don't look as bad as I thought they would.
Right.
But I agree with Mike. You throw just a regular block font on those jerseys, get rid of the pewter on the shoulders, or at least if I can live with the pewter on the shoulders, it's a little orange stripe that's there basically because they used to wear orange a long time ago.
I have a feeling that they increased the use of orange on these because the creamsicles were getting popular again, and they kind of try to do that Chargers thing where they use the new colors with a bit of the old colors.
Oh, sure. I guarantee you in like 2 years when they can make an alternate jersey,
it'll
be just like the Chargers, and they'll make a modern creamsicle. Will be orange.
But
just like the Chargers have with the powder blue alternate.
If they do that, though, then they've got to pair them with white pants, because pewter – I've never seen a concept that uses primary orange jerseys and pewter pants that looks good. It just like pewter and orange just don't play well together.
I think this works. This might work better because the old pewter pants were shiny.
Right. I was going to say I like the matte look of the pants. I think that looks good.
The flat pewter will probably work better with orange than the shiny pewter did.
I'm gonna also say though I do agree with Greg on the Jaguars that if they stay away from monochrome black and fix the helmets and just go to simple black helmets with the logo, it's not that terrible of a look.
Not at all.
But in my opinion, that helmet is such a joke, and the helmet alone I think brings me into agreement with Zach in that they're the worst looking team on the field. But that helmet is such a joke that everything from the neck down, which in my opinion it's
irrelevant.
Okay, yeah, it's irrelevant. It's this I said it before, but it's this giant beacon of design and competency that it draws your vision and it obscures everything else.
Well, we got the learning challenge Jaguars there, that jump from the light into the dark.
Right. Well, but when you get two teams that line up the things that are going head to head with each other are the helmets, and those are the things that you kind of notice more.
Right. Well, I tried to make
font still bothers me.
I also think it's hilarious how the Jaguars helmets look solid black or solid gold, depending on the angle.
Right. The font doesn't bother me that much.
The Jaguars that bothers me. Their socks are black. The stripes on the pants are black. The shoulders on the jerseys are black. And the helmet is half black. The only teal is on the numbers.
Which doesn't make any sense because the home jerseys are black with teal shoulders, teal sleeves. So
I hate that they've emphasized the black. I wish they would use the teal more.
But I'm saying that if you go with that black jersey as that's okay. That's the home jersey. And if you were to just do a simple color swap between black and white, then it's that design principle dictates that the road jerseys should be white with teal sleeves.
Yeah.
So
it's the font that the Jags have doesn't bother me all that much. Of the proprietary fonts that everybody's coming out with now, that's one of the least offensive, especially when compared to some of these nonsensical college ones that have come out.
It really bugs me how, at least in football, in hockey this doesn't seem to be a problem so much, but in football it seems that almost every major new football uniform unveiling, be it NFL or college, almost nobody is going with just a solid-looking block font.
Right.
Everyone wants to have a proprietary font, and here's the thing. There's only so many ways that you can make a number look different from every other font, and yet still have it be viable as a jersey font, and that it can be read from the stands and the TV angles and whatnot. So you get a lot of the stuff. The Jaguars, the Bucks. The Bucks are the worst in my opinion, but you get like the Jaguars, the Bucks, the Chargers font. I really hate because like some custom fonts, like you can tell at least like they work on their own, but some of these newer custom fonts look like they're just custom for the sake to have a custom font.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, they're trying to have their own intellectual property, and I mean the thing with a football jersey, the actual jersey itself, the biggest design element on a football jersey is the numbers.
Exactly.
So they want to have their own distinctive font.
Well, don't
it's
you
not
think
like in hockey you only have you have three numbers, arms and back, but you still have the logo that takes up the big part of the front. Whereas in football, you have numbers on every conceivable side of a football jersey. So it matters more in football, I guess. So they want to be more distinctive.
I was thinking, too, that it may be – I'm sure this is like a very small part of it, but it might be a little tougher to make a good-looking bootleg if you don't have easy access. Like if you want to make a Browns or a Raiders or, say, a 49ers counterfeit, real easy to do because you can get the block font numbers anywhere. But I just don't know. I'm sure that there are people out there that still do it and are capable of it, but it's just tough to go out and buy off-the-rack Tampa Bay Buccaneers numbers like this. But to go back to what Mike was saying about the proprietary fonts, you've hit the bottom of the barrel when Tampa Bay has to use a digital alarm clock because that's all that's left.
Mm-hmm. No, hey, it's a digital alarm clock. Excuse yourself.
Right.
Traditional Buccaneer sword carvings.
Exactly.
Which, as far as I can tell, don't actually exist.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway. Not
to mention that they really were ahead of their time because they look like digital alarm clock numbers if that's what they were carving back then. While we're on the jersey thing, I thought this was really good news, to me anyway. An article on Chris's page that the Eagles are considering going back to the Kelly green look that they had before they switched to the current midnight green or whatever it's called. What do you guys think of that?
Take it or leave it.
I'm thrilled with that. I think that would be awesome.
I don't know. I've never lived in a generation where maybe, but I haven't paid attention to football. Where the Eagles use the Kelly green, and it just I don't know. It looks old to me. Like whenever they toss out the throwbacks, I mean they're throwbacks. They are old, but like compared to these are the only Eagles I know.
Right?
The way that they look now, the kind of modernized eagle and the dark green and the black. That's I don't know. That's the Philadelphia Eagles to me. If they never changed, I'd be okay with it. But
see, but I just sent you guys a link to the picture. It's the alts they were a couple years ago, I guess. Right. I just think that now, granted, there's nothing flashy about it, but it's just such a solid football uniform. It's just such a great look. Not a lot of teams use that color, and to me, it's perfect.
The best look that the Eagles ever had, in my opinion, It's the Ron Jaworski look with all the sleeve stripes.
That was cool. I liked that.
I mean, it would probably need to be tweaked if they decide to go that route now because no one wears sleeves, so they'd probably have to they'd probably have to play around with it a bit. But I'm with Zach in that I never have really known the Eagles as being anything but a midnight green team. But I'm gonna say I wouldn't mind a switch to Kelly. If only because I've always thought the Eagles' uniforms have been just a bit too bland because they use black, they use midnight green, and then they use, like, almost black charcoal. So the three colors of the uniforms all sort of muddled together, and I wouldn't mind if they switched to Kelly and then maybe switch to silver just to get some contrast in there.
Well, their current uniforms are perfectly fine. They're not – I don't think they're great, but they're certainly not terrible. For a modernized look, they're one of the teams that did a pretty good job with modernizing their old look. But I just think that just because of the color scheme mostly, it's just that such an underused color, especially in pro sports, that it would be great to see them trot this out. It's bright, it's vibrant, and –
I do like the way Kelly Green looks, just generally speaking.
And I'm all about the simple, and I don't know if you can get more simple than that uniform, but I think it looks great. You're just going to have a hard time making that look bad.
I don't know. I think when I see that the first time, when I clicked on the link, the first thing I see, to me, is the Jets.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I see New York Jets. Then if you showed me this and you didn't show me the helmet, then I didn't see the eagle wings, I'd be like, okay, that's New York Jets.
Yeah.
Or Marshall. The University of Marshall.
Yeah.
Before I would say Philadelphia Eagles.
I've never, as far as the Jets go, I like the Jets' current uniform. Like, I've never been a fan of that Jets look where they had the green helmets with the futuristic Jets word mark.
Yeah, a lot of people love that. I never thought it was that great either.
It's weird because they kind of had that uniform kind of coexisted with the Giants, where they had the Giants ward mark across the helmets.
Right.
And the Giants, they had a blue jersey, white numbers, and then they had white and red stripes on the sleeves. The Jets during that time period, green jersey, white numbers with white and black stripes on the sleeves. So they looked like the Bizarro Giants.
Exactly.
Like both teams representing New York had this weird thing going up where like they had like the same logo, the same kind of logo, the same striping.
It's like the Lakers and the Clippers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a good comparison.
Exactly. Until the
I mean,
Clippers,
hell, they're sharing the same stadium. It's the same thing.
Yeah, until the Clippers, I guess now they kind of have their own unique uniform template, but it took them long enough. And who knows?
Man, there's a lot of stuff out there. I'm looking at Nebraska's got a new alt that's god awful.
The black.
No, Greg, the amount of college football crap I'm going to throw in your face when we do the football show in like 2 weeks, you are going to be blown away by the amount of garbage that's come out of college football this summer.
Oh, I'd seriously doubt it. The logo cast.
Did you ever see the new UCLA alternates?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
the midnight blue ones with no stripes on the shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Particularly,
sorry, not midnight blue. Excuse me, LA Steel.
Right, exactly.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an actual color anymore. Nothing's just red or blue or midnight blue or whatever. No.
The best part is when Seahawks fans get all defensive about gray and they start like, no, it's wolf gray, guys. yeah, it's the same gray everyone. No, it's wolf gray. No, it's okay.
Well, the Milwaukee Bucks are changing uniforms. I got to start following. I don't pay much attention to this stuff anymore. I guess.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks this season, they're going with something simple. They're just shrinking the B and S on the Bucks ward mark, so it's all the same size across.
That'll look better.
But apparently, the team's thinking about changing things up for next season. So
they have a new owner, and
They have a new owner. They have a new owner, and apparently, and this is going to be really depressing. Apparently, a lot of the owner asked the fans, like, "What color scheme would you like?" And green and orange was a popular one.
What would that would be what Miami uses that in college football.
The whole thing is
nobody uses that in the NBA.
It would be an attempt to go for a hunting look, and Hunter.
Well, but you're
and you're named after the
like
thing.
A mantelpiece.
Just go all the way and just go camouflage.
Yeah.
Hunting camouflage, mind you, not military, not that digital camo.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see a team go with a camo uniform, but it's not like a military thing.
Right,
it's just like clearly hunting.
Like Duck Dynasty camo.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 years ago, the Minnesota Wild, one of the nights they were playing the Ducks, they gave out hunting hats. That's what they called them. So they were these neon orange Minnesota Wild hats. And I just thought it was funny because they thought they were cute because they were playing the Ducks. Mm-hmm. And, they hunt ducks.
Witty.
But here's the thing. Guess what one of the Ducks' colors is?
Orange.
Right, orange. So it was really kind of off-putting. I'm like, we're playing in Minnesota, right? But, yeah.
I'm trying to – okay, here we go. I want to link you guys a picture of this new Michigan alt.
Oh, God,
alleged.
no. This is – no.
I haven't seen this new Michigan alt. I need to –
Oh, Michael.
There it is. Take a look at this. This is just stupid.
What?
What are the stripes all about? Does anybody have any idea?
They're trying – because the thing was, you remember a couple of years ago they had the alternate uniforms, all the stripes?
Yeah, the one that they wore against, what was it, against Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Those things were awesome. Right.
Those were so popular that now they're just kind of trying to play off that template.
Oh.
And
what was the stripes? So, we had stripes last.
We had a really cool jersey, so let's take this plain jersey, throw some stripes on it, and people will go, hey, it's the same thing. We'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Those numbers, I got to think those numbers could be illegible from a distance.
Mm-hmm. Well, but they're playing it under the lights, Mike. So maybe those are reflective numbers.
I will tell you, though,
that oh, God.
That alt that they wore, the one that this, I guess, is supposed to be based on, this one, if it weren't for the fact that I'd get thrown out of my house, I would buy that jersey. I think it's so cool.
No, it's a very nice jersey. I like it.
But I can't wear that.
Of course you can't.
That would be like you buying a Kings jersey.
Out of the state.
Yeah, it'd be like you buying a Kings jersey or something. It's just not going to fly.
Right. Well, Ohio State, they would. They track your credit card information, and they'd be like, Mr. Gregg, it seems that it's come to our attention that you bought a University of Michigan jersey. Is this correct?
I put it this way: if I ever move to
your
warmer
diploma
is
can be mailed back to this address. You can stay in Toledo for all we care.
Right. Your
no longer a Buckeye.
Your diploma's been revoked. Send back your ring. Send back all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. But if I ever move out of state, I will get one of these because I don't give a shit. At some point, you've got to step outside the whole rivalry thing and just go, this is just a badass jersey, and I'm a uniform dork, so I got to have one.
No, I have got one hockey sweater for each of the Canadian teams, even the ones that I hate. So
that's cool.
You know.
I want to do one of those things. Get like a jersey from every team in the NHL. Just one jersey from one era, like whatever I think is my favorite jersey of that team.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But like with the Sharks, I'm like, okay, I can get the inaugural jersey and be okay with it. I don't know if I'd ever wear the thing. But then I got to the Kings, like thinking about if I had to go buy a Kings jersey, what jersey would I buy? And I thought about it long and hard. I'm like, I guess the only one that I could even think about would be maybe the purple and gold ones.
That's what I'd go with.
But I don't know if I could ever own one.
I'd go for that purple alternate of the giant gray collar that they had.
Oh God.
The one that and the only reason I'd go with that is because I was a Felix Potvin fan, and Felix Potvin was the goalie for the Kings. I remember watching a playoff series between the Kings and the Avalanche. They were wearing those, and Potvin was in net. So I have this weird sort of affinity.
I would buy one of those and put Roman Chikmanik's name on the back of it.
Cool.
And just be like, hey, Kings, remember when you guys were awful? Let's go back to those times.
Remember the carousel that was the Kings starting goalie position?
Remember when Alexander Frolov was your marketing linchpin? Zygmunt Palffy?
Ziggy Palffy. God, there's a name I haven't heard in forever.
God.
Jason Allison, Adam Deadmarsh, yeah.
Adam Deadmarsh, yeah.
Those were the teams.
Wasn't Deadmarsh pretty? Didn't he play with the Avalanche for a while? I thought he was halfway decent for a while there.
Check out these callers. This is what I'm talking about.
All
guys.
right, let's see here.
These are awful. These are bad.
Woo! You know what's funny?
Lion logo, yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend used to have. It was the black. They have a black version of that, right? Without the gray collar. Was it like their primary back for a while? She bought one of those for like $20 at a Value City store here in Ohio, and just because she thought she was like, I like the colors on this, so she has a Kings jersey.
I just like the jersey itself is okay. I just don't understand the gray collar.
Well,
why is it a big bib? Why does it go down so low?
I guess maybe it was going for like a chainmail kind of armor, maybe.
I could see that, but it doesn't look like that, especially when someone ties a bow at the top of it.
Yeah. This is I mean, for a jersey that uses black, silver, and purple and uses this futuristic shield thing, this is one of those uniforms that never should have had a tie-up collar.
Yeah.
You know what, though? That's a cool point that you brought up, Zach. If you could God, it would take us all night to do this, but I think it would be a fun show to do that. Like, pick a jersey from everybody's, era that you would pick.
When I get, my free time, I'll go to, NHLuniforms.com, and I'll just click through teams, and I'll be like, because I eventually want to make a list so that I can, give it to somebody and say, hey, look, if you're looking for a Christmas present or anything, and you come across this jersey for the cheap on eBay or if you're traveling somewhere and you see this, buy this for me. Because, I go through it, I already have – I'm a Ducks fan, so I'm going to own every Ducks jersey. That's out of the question. With the Coyotes, I already have one of the Picasso Coyote jerseys, so check. I keep looking for a Thrasher jersey, and I think I want their original away jerseys with the flying bird on the front.
I'd go for if I was going to get Thrasher's jersey, I would get the original white ones.
Yeah,
I think that's a good look. I thought that was a good look. But I did that when I got all the Canadian NHL teams. My Montreal Canadiens jersey I've got is a throwback to the Maurice Richard era, so it's got the white collar, the white tie-down collar. I've got the original Ottawa Senators jersey that was just black with the red stripes and no white.
Yeah.
What did you go with the Oilers, Mike?
What did I get for the Oilers?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If I had to pick my favorite Oilers jersey, it's kind of unpopular, but I went with the previous scheme's white jersey before the edge.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So it's the navy and copper, but it's not the edge one where the stripes got cut off for no reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's weird. No, it's weird in terms of what I prefer the Oilers, the team, to be wearing. I think they have it right with the Gretzky colors now. Oilers should be wearing those colors. But it's weird because it's just for my personal collection, I kind of just prefer this because I kind of got into their 2006 Cup run?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The Ryan Smith, Dwayne Rollison Oilers.
Yeah, Ryan Smith's last hurrah.
Okay, what about what did you go with for Vancouver?
For Vancouver, I actually
Vancouver's one that I wouldn't know where to go either, just because there's so many options.
It is. I ended up going with the Pavel Bure black and red and gold, the skate on the front.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick a Canucks jersey, despite that not being their, they don't have a look though. I guess
no.
If I had to pick a Canucks jersey, I'd go with the '94 Cup jerseys, the black ones.
Yeah, those weren't bad.
Well, that Canucks jersey, I actually really like.
Well, I'd either do that or I'd get one of the V jerseys just for fun.
My God, those things were so awful. They were so awful.
Oh, okay, no. I'm shocked that nobody went with that alternate they had.
Oh, the red-blue gradient?
No. It was the alternate they had during the Pavel Bure. There's the Pavel Bure Cup era uniforms.
The checkmark jerseys.
Yeah, but then there's these.
The checkmark jerseys. Hold on a second here.
There's these.
Oh, yeah. Yep. The
checkmark.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. That is such. In terms of the Flying V was bad, but this is '90s bad. You could tell this was one of those.
I think the red blue gradient one is worse with the red blue numbers.
the red-blue gradient one was also bad, but like that whole red-blue scheme for the Canucks was just weird.
Yeah.
I know. I'm looking at. I tell you, when I saw them play. Was it 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. In person, their white road jerseys, the colors with the green and the blue and all that really look great in person.
Yeah.
But
the green and blue is what they should be wearing.
Right.
It's what they should have always been wearing.
Right. I don't know why they ever went with the red, black, and white.
I can tell you why they went with red, black, and gold. Why? This is basically when the Canucks, they decided they wanted to do a uniform shakeup, and they hired a sports psychologist. A sports psychologist. Yeah. And basically, he was like, your colors are blue and green. That's so soft. You need black and red and gold. Like, that's fierce and intimidating. It'll rile your players up.
Oh, for God's sakes.
And then so they did that, and then they decided that they were going to have, like, everyone thinks the flying V jerseys, that the V's stood for Vancouver. No. They actually stand for victory. Because the psychologist actually said, it's like your players, every time they see the V, they'll subconsciously think of victory and they'll play harder.
Right.
So that's why those jerseys exist.
Well, I'm looking at their jersey timeline. So they wanted to make a jersey shakeup 8 years into their existence. Mm-hmm. And then they stuck with the red. But see, the thing with the Canucks is they stuck with the red, black, and gold from 1978 to 1997. Almost a full 20 years of red, black, and gold. I mean, you could make the argument that had they stuck with red, black, and gold, they could have owned that. Like that, those could have been that'd be their thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at an Alexander Mogilny jersey from 96-97 here. It's not bad at all in the red, black, and gold.
Yeah, that's the black version of that era is the one is my Canucks jersey. It's I was just looking at it. And I was kind of like Zach, like what do I choose? I've got so many options. And then I went with that because
here's mine. Okay, go ahead.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, the Canucks were one of those teams where, like, it was the jersey that they had their most success in while still being tolerable. Nobody hated the Vancouver Canucks back when they had their 94 Cup run.
Yeah.
I mean, they were technically just as successful making it to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals in 2011, but I think everyone hated that team.
That seems to be the consensus. It's funny.
Yes, Optimus Prime Canuck guy is awesome.
You bring up the 2011 thing. Somebody made a reference to that in a TV show I was watching the other night.
Vancouver Canucks?
They made a reference to, like, if I wanted to see like a war zone, I would have gone to a Canucks game during the Stanley Cup Finals. It was really funny. Again, I'm not doing it justice, but I'm like, wow, that's cool that it was referenced in a TV show. I've got.
My Calgary Flames sweater is it's the red one right before the edge switch over they wore during their cup
red
run.
And black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
those are nice.
Truth be told, I mean that was kind of the one I settled on.
Calgary, like their original jerseys are too bright. The one with the weird diagonal stripe is.
No, see, the one with the diagonal stripe, if I could own any Canucks jersey and I could get it without problem, that would be the one.
The Flames?
Yeah, for the not Flames. Yeah, the Flames. I'd go with the
That picture I just sent you guys, those are my two choices for the Canucks and the Kings right there.
Yes.
You want those?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. For those
not you, Greg. Those are fine.
Oh, okay.
You picked fine.
Yes, I would want those. I would want.
Wow, really, Mike?
I would want. Okay, here's my argument. You take the diagonal stripe off the front, and it's a good.
Okay, but it's on there.
Yeah, it's on there.
You can't take it off.
It's on there. All in all, I like it well enough. Despite that, is the best thing. Is the best way I could put it.
Okay.
They'd be a tough call for me. I'd probably just grab whatever their current road jersey is.
No, the Flames.
Yeah.
No, you don't want their current jerseys.
You don't want their.
I'd go back to the what was it, Lanny McDonald era. That's why I'd grab one of those.
Yeah.
The Flames' current jerseys where they just slapped the Alberta flag being primarily blue on their red and black uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just it's funny. Like you don't realize how many choices there are until you start digging into all this stuff. And holy shit, Rangers. Just to wrap it up, I guess, unless you guys want to keep going with it. If I Rangers jersey, I would grab one of the white Lady Liberty alternates. I think those were so cool.
I can't fault you for that. I never want the Lady Liberty look to be their primary look, but they were fantastic as alternates.
I hated them when they first came out. I did not like them at all, but man, it grew on me, and I've got 2 of the blue ones, but I had a chance to buy a white one time, and I just didn't, and I kick myself all the time because I should have.
I remember watching a lot of hockey with my grandparents, actually, when all these alternate uniforms first came out. Like, you had like the Bruins Pooh Bear jerseys.
Oh yeah.
And the Rangers came out with Lady Liberty jerseys. And my grandpa was like, "I hate all these new jerseys. They look ridiculous." I mean, would Maurice Richard have worn any of these? No, he would not.
If you're going to go with a Rangers jersey, you got to go with the 77, 78 jerseys.
Oh, God, no. No.
The ones with the shields on the front?
No.
You mean the ones that they then recycled for the original, for the Jets?
Yeah, you know.
No.
Where, like, the general manager just went from the Rangers to the Jets and brought, like, a bunch of stock jerseys with them.
Oh, here we go. The NHL uniform database. Like, okay. I'd have to have a Hartford Whalers jersey. I don't even know what a Cleveland Barons jersey looks like. I should
click on it.
I should click on that and check it out.
Yeah,
it's just got the logo on the front. That's not exciting.
Their original ones were kind of cool because they had outlines of the state of Ohio on the sleeves for the numbers.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of their one redeeming quality a season later. So
yeah, there's a lot of things to go with it, but
Yeah, let me see here with the Ducks. I've got to go with the inaugural set, I think.
The one I think I'd have a hard time with is the Detroit Red Wings. I don't think I could ever buy a Red Wings jersey.
Buy a Red Wings jersey? I thought you meant pick one.
Yeah, no.
Because of so many different decisions to make with these Red Wings jerseys.
No. Okay, no. If they
do I want the white one or do I want the red one?
If they sell a throwback of this, I'd be all over.
Do you want the one with the tiny wheel or the off-centered wheel?
Let's see.
No, the Cougars.
With the derp Cougar.
Those are awful.
Wow.
But back, like, the Red Wings, for having essentially the same uniform, like, since forever, kind of had, like, an identity crisis in their first few years of existence.
Well, they were a different team. Those don't count.
They're like, well, we're the Detroit Cougars. Now we're the Falcons. Now we're the Red Wings.
I tell you what, though, man, the white road jerseys look great in person. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah,
especially great when you're kicking their ass. But they do look really good. They're really nice.
I one of the things that kind of always bugs me with, like, the Toronto Detroit rivalry is that, in my opinion, the white jerseys for both the Leafs and the Red Wings are their superior jerseys.
Yeah, I agree.
So whenever the Red Wings play the Leafs, one team's got to look like a giant block of color.
Speaking of hockey, I saw this last night. I was flipping through the channels, and I had to ask you guys about it. There was this old movie back in the mid '80s it had Rob Lowe, Patrick Swayze. It was called Youngblood. And I remember I went and saw that at the theater, believe it or not. But I thought, I wonder if those guys have ever. I'm sure you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen Youngblood.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious because wow, what a.
Well, the reason I saw Youngblood is I remember. Shit, when was this?
I think it came out. I want to say in '84, '86, somewhere in there.
I think it was,
or maybe later. I don't remember.
It was when the NHL was first on Versus or OLN. For whatever reason, because they figured that since they have hockey, whenever they would have an off night, they would play Youngblood, like during the playoffs. They would have an off night, and Youngblood would be on TV, and I'm like, it's a hockey movie. I haven't seen this yet, and then I'll sit there and watch, Rob Lowe do a punching bag in the middle of his barn, and
between this and then that one kind of hockey sitcom soap opera that they had that ran in the 90s, where they had the Hamilton Steelheads.
And then a Canadian show?
Yeah, it was a Canadian show. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the title of it. But then they had the.
So only been one Canadian sitcom based on hockey.
Only one.
There was a kind of a Desperate Housewives of Hockey kind of thing that they did. This was about maybe 5 years ago. And it was actually a big deal because I was living in London at the time, London, Ontario, and they were filming it at the John the Bat Centre, which was the rink in London. So, but I just find it funny that in Youngblood, the team's from Hamilton. So apparently if you're filming something about a fictional NHL team, Hamilton's your go-to.
Apparently. Yeah,
Youngblood wasn't NHL, though. I think it was...
it was juniors.
Was it?
Yeah,
juniors.
Yeah, it was the Hamilton... they were the Hamilton Mustangs.
He was a teenager, and he needed to decide whether he was going to stay on the farm or go pursue his hockey dream.
You know what stuck with me out of that movie when I watched a little bit of it last night was Patrick Swayze's character goes, I've scored 91 goals this season.
Yeah.
And I thought, damn, dude, you should be in the NHL already.
Yeah.
Well, but see, that's what's so tragic when he gets injured.
Well, yeah, because he was clearly the next Gretzky. Come on. I mean, that's because what do they play in juniors? How many games a season in junior season?
Oh, fuck.
Is it 82 like it is in the NHL, or is it less?
It's less. It's like 60.
It is 60. Less. So this dude's got 91. And the season's not over. Well, yeah, they were going into the playoffs. So the season's over. This guy's hung up 91 goals in 60 games. I'm sure that's I mean, I can't do the math, but...
No, I think they've done that in junior.
Really?
I think. Yeah, let me look it up.
That just seems like a pretty damn good player to me.
But the thing that I mostly remember about Youngbloods was the team, the Hamilton Mustangs.
Right.
I remember that growing up at the rink I played hockey on, one of the rec teams for in one of the adult leagues wore Hamilton Mustangs uniforms, and I was like, hey, that's from that one movie. And yeah, no. So
my problem with that movie is that when Rob Lowe kicks the shit out of the guy from the other team, from the Thunder Bay team, there's just come on, not in a million years is that ever really going to happen.
Have all of you guys seen the movie Goon?
I've tried. You know what? I've watched bits and pieces of it. I have not seen it beginning to end yet. Is it any good?
Oh, it's good. I like Goon. It's funny.
Okay.
Goon quite. I've seen some people say this. I'm not sure if I agree, but I've heard people describe it as the greatest hockey movie of all time.
Not as long as Miracle exists in this universe. That's just not possible.
Yeah,
just not possible.
But you could make the argument that Miracle isn't so much a hockey movie as much as it is kind of general
propaganda.
I wouldn't say propaganda. It's sort of like a just general kind of feel-good motivational movie that uses hockey as a backdrop. Like Goon, I'd say had more actual hockeyness than Miracle, which had inspirational speeches interspersed with hockey segments.
Okay.
Here you go, Greg.
All right.
Most goals in one season in the Canadian Junior Leagues. Well, you said he had 91?
91 is what he said, yeah.
That put him somewhere in the 15th all-time.
Really? Okay,
Number one, in 70 games in 1983-84, from Laval in the QMJHL, number 66, Mario Lemieux.
How many?
130.
Wow. In 70 games?
70 games.
That's damn near 2 a game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Goaltending.
Lafleur has 130.
Okay.
Ray Ferraro, 108. Pat LaFontaine, 104. Guy Lafleur, 103. Gary McGregor, 100.
Yeah, Pat LaFontaine, he was kind of a disappointment as a pro. Solid, but never what they thought he was going to be. Well, 91's really not that great then.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah,
91 would put you in the same sentence as Normand Aubin and Guy Rouleau.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Sidney Crosby, not on this list.
Did he?
Yeah, but you know where he does have 2 goals?
Not in the playoffs.
No, in the gold medal games of the Olympics.
Yeah, who cares?
I don't seem to recall.
I don't remember that either.
Like I said, I'll stop bringing it up when he stops doing it.
Don't know what.
So we've got another about 3 years of this we have to put up with, right?
Yes.
No, 2 years.
2 years. Has
Yeah.
it been 2 years already?
Yeah.
Wow, time flies. Well,
no.
It was.
No, it's 4 years. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
4 years.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
It was February of this year.
Right. I know. I'm mixing up my years.
So
you think it's bad now? Wait till you get to be my age. You'll have trouble remembering what month
decades?
it is, let alone year. Yeah.
So I guess this is sort of a follow-up to that discussion we had about Redskins losing their trademark.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up. Go ahead.
University of Minnesota requests that Washington Redskins wear logo-less throwbacks, I guess, when they come to visit the Minnesota Vikings, seeing as the Vikings are going to be playing at TCF Bank Stadium for the 2 years while their cathedral to Adrian Peterson is being built.
Yep.
Do you mean the bird killing house?
The bird killing stadium.
Right.
Yes.
And
well, if you, in this article I have, it's the University of Minnesota has made a lot of inroads with the tribal nations there. The university actually has a tribal nations plaza dedicated in honor of the 11 Native American tribes, built with a $10 million donation from the Shakopee Midwekanan Sioux community.
I bet you they have a casino.
The largest private gift ever to the Gophers.
What do you guys think about that? I look, I am all for changing the Redskins name, but I think this is maybe taking it a step too far.
I think it's taking it a step too far because the legal processes are already kind of in motion. It's like, look, the trademark's been revoked. The Redskins are appealing. And whatever you think about the Redskins naming controversy, I think the fact that the wheels are in motion means that be smart about it and wait the process out and then go from there.
Did you see Dan Snyder's interview this last week?
I try to avoid Dan Snyder whenever possible.
He wanted to reiterate that the Redskins name is not disparaging, but honoring Native Americans.
Bullshit.
And their warriorness.
Bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I even no matter where you fall on the issue, I don't think anyone can make a legitimate argument that that is not a derogatory term. Now, it doesn't matter if you think it's not. Maybe it's no more derogatory than calling a white person a cracker, where it just really has no meaning whatsoever. But come on.
No,
there's nothing that they're not honoring anything with that name. I'm sorry, they're just not.
No, it wasn't. And again, the fact that the name was chosen by an outspoken racist, kind of, like, okay, if the Redskins were owned back in the day, if the Boston Braves, who they started off as, were owned by like a Native American, and he said we're going to change the name to Redskins because this, that, or the other reason, then it's like, okay. That's your team. It refers to your culture. That's what you want to go with. Fine. But the fact that George Preston Marshall, who changed the name to Redskins, was very unashamed of his open racism, kind of hinders any sort of it's not that bad kind of excuse.
Let me throw this in really quick.
What the point is of changing the name from Braves?
Because they didn't want to be confused. I can't remember. There was a reason behind it.
It's because back in the day when pro football was in its infancy, a lot of teams took names from baseball teams because they would play in the same stadium. Well, the Boston Braves played in the Boston Braves Stadium, and then they moved to the Red Sox Stadium, and they wanted to keep Native American imagery, but use the word red in the name, so they went with Redskins.
And going back to George Preston Marshall for a second, all that stuff you said is true, Mike. And then there's this. It is. You can look it up. He came right out and said this name is not a tribute to anything. It's there in print. There's no denying it. It's not a tribute. He comes right out and says it's not a tribute to any Native American we had playing on our team. None of the above. So,
no. He actually they interviewed him when they changed the name in the 30s.
Yeah,
and he says flat out, it's not a tribute.
Right, exactly. So how Daniel Snyder can make that argument is beyond me. But
I don't think Daniel Snyder understands a lot of things.
It's his interpretation.
But going back to the issue itself, I think that when you pull a stunt like Minnesota's trying to pull here, you're kind of drawing more attention to it than it probably normally would have gotten.
But see, it's not the Vikings that are doing it though; it's the university.
Right, exactly.
But as far as
and what they're doing, they're not going to sell any Redskins stuff. They're not going to put the logo in the scoreboard or in the program, and the announcer will not say Redskins. He will say Washington.
But the logo's not the problem, honestly.
Yeah,
I think the logo is a very respectful depiction of a Native American. I don't have a problem. I mean, it's not like they've got a worse version of Chief Wahoo.
But that's why they want them to wear the throwbacks instead, Because on the regular jerseys below the collar it says Redskins.
Okay.
On the throwbacks it's just numbers.
It's
and
just the logo on the sleeves.
Well, so just wear the jersey and because honestly, the helmet's kind of cool.
But they also want them to wear it without the logo. But that, like we said, that's not the problem.
And as I said earlier, the legal processes are working out. It's very possible that within 10 years the Redskins name will be changed anyway. So I don't know. Just it seems like you're forcing the issue at a time when it shouldn't be forced. The wheels are in motion.
Exactly.
Their wheels are in motion, and just wait for the courts to make their final decision, and then go from there.
Right. And I think for this case specifically with the University of Minnesota, what they're going to be doing already is fine enough.
Yeah.
You're not going to control what the team, even if you requested or force the NFL, like, no, they can't wear these in our stadium. They're not going to not play the game or something.
No,
and not let them in. It's like you're doing as much as you can do. Not selling the gear, not showing the logo, not saying the name. That's all you can do as in their position. And
I just think that doing this, they just throw a whole bunch of fuel onto the idiotic argument. It's the PC police run amok, the whole bit. It just, you're right. They're doing what they can do, and they should just do that and not make a big issue out of it. Because, like Mike said, everything's in motion. This is just I don't know. I just don't agree with it. And, again, the logo's not the issue. It's the name. Mm-hmm. But, whatever.
Yeah, but speaking of kind of on the same sort of trajectory, the Cleveland Indians
I was just going to bring that up. Go ahead.
They released some concept art for renovations to their stadium.
Oh, that's not what I was talking about, but go ahead.
Well, basically, they released some concept art for renovations for their stadium, and if you look at it, the only logos that are featured in this concept art are the Indians script word mark and the block C.
Yeah. It's going to be – well, that's the thing. They've been saying that they're phasing out Chief Wahoo for the past 10 years now. Mm-hmm. But I saw a thing where Ohio, I guess, somebody's trying to sponsor legislation that would force them to change the name. And I don't like that either. It's just idiotic. I'm looking for the link and I can't find it, but that there's legislation on the books where they're going to come up with some regulation where they won't be allowed to use the name Indians or Chief Wahoo or any of that. Which, to me, that's just taking it too far.
But if it heralds the return of the Cleveland Spiders, I'm okay with it.
Well, but again, this is one of those things where the Indians part isn't the offensive part.
Exactly.
It's the logo.
It's kind of
the
like
opposite of the Redskins.
The Redskins and the Indians have this weird kind of thing going for it, where they each have half of their identity as racist. Right. Like if the Indians,
if the Indians used the Redskins logo, or the Redskins were the Indians, mm-hmm. wouldn't be an issue.
Right.
It'd be just okay. That's what it is.
Can we pair the term Redskins with Chief Wahoo and just have all the offensiveness in one identity package?
I'm trying to find it here. Let's see.
But it just seems to me like the Indians are, in fact, slowly phasing it out. And I think that's another case. Maybe not 10 years. The Indians, I'd say around maybe in 15 years, Wahoo is going to slowly disappear. Where I think is going to happen is he's slowly going to be phased out of the hats and the helmets. And then he's just going to be on the sleeves. And then there's going to be an anniversary, and they're going to stick like an anniversary logo on the sleeves instead. And then when that's over, they're just going to take the anniversary logo off and not replace it with anything.
That's the smart way to do it, is to wean the fans off of it instead of making a big – because people are going to flip out if they just say we're getting rid of it. Then you're going to get all the backlash. If you just do it this way, it just kind of slowly goes away.
The way that things are going, stuff like Wahoo, stuff like the Redskins name, they're going to disappear. I mean, it's been trending in that direction for a while now. In fact, you could say it's been trending for decades. We're really just sort of seeing the end result of it now. Change
starts with a firestorm, and then it's incremental after that. And that's, we've had the firestorm. Let the incremental part take place, and we'll be fine. Everything will work out great.
Hockey news. They had a committee of their major editors and writers to vote on to rank all 30 current logos in the NHL.
That's ought to be interesting.
Well, and the thing, and I want to preface this with this, because some of these you're going to say, what? They prefaced it by saying it is strictly on the merits of the logo, not the history associated with the logo, not the traditional aspects of it, just the actual design elements. So it's not based on the tradition, it's not based on anything else, but just what the logo is and what it represents.
Okay.
And they're not done. They're only up to number 12. But here we go. We'll start at the bottom.
Okay.
Number 30, the Carolina Hurricanes.
They think that's the worst?
They think that that's the worst.
As far as logos go, I gotta say,
the toilet bowl that's looking like it's flushed.
It does look like a flushing toilet bowl, but
I think it's the symbol of a hurricane. That's never bothered me.
I mean, as far as representing a hurricane in logo form, I think it does a well enough job.
Exactly. What I've heard of the criteria for this, it would seem to me that one should be way up towards the top because it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Or wait, they're not considering that. They're just considering design aspects alone, right? That's it.
Yeah, the only thing that bothers me with it is it's looking at the underside of the puck, and that's always been weird to me.
Yeah, I've always
the middle's supposed to be a puck, but it's like the perspective of the inside circles and the outside circles are just they don't seem. Like
if you flip it, the puck actually looks more like a puck.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, so.
But anyway, number 29, this one I don't agree with, the Colorado Avalanche.
See, okay,
I agree with that.
I agree.
Totally.
I have never liked the Avalanche's. I've never liked either of the Avalanche's logos.
Me either.
What's wrong with the Avalanche logo? It's an A that's a mountain with an avalanche.
It looks like it should be on the Big Gulp at a truck stop.
It does.
It does.
It looks like it should be on the. It looks like it should be on like the label for like Avalanche cool flavored Mountain Dew or something.
There's a puck in it.
Well, okay.
That makes it a hockey logo, right?
Kind of.
There's
yes.
a puck in it?
Yeah, it is. At the end, like the end of the snow.
Thing that's coming down the mountain. There's a
it's
black puck at the end.
Oh, okay. That doesn't make it any better.
See. Okay, I will say I like it better than the foot logo because the foot logo never made any sense to me because Yetis aren't.
Yeah, I wish there was like an actual Yeti rather than the Yeti foot.
Yeah, the foot logo never really did anything for me. I like it better than the foot logo, but I don't know. My favorite Avalanche jerseys have always been the two that had the diagonal Colorado script because I just like. That logo seems fine to me on the shoulders, but I've never liked it front and center on a jersey. I can't say why, aside from me just kind of agreeing with Greg that it kind of looks like an extreme like pop logo.
Exactly.
Okay.
It looks like it reminds me of this, which is I'll show you here, which is also reminds me of something that should be on a big cup. Never mind, some of those super huge links. I won't do it. But look up the Arkansas Travelers, and it's the same exact thing. It's just. I don't like the Avalanche logo. I never have. They could have done a lot better. But then again, how do you portray an avalanche, I suppose? So there's that argument to be made. But
right.
All right, what's next?
Travelers? It looks like a horse. What are you talking about?
That might be a new one. I'm talking about this one. Oh, did they switch? I guess so. Well, at least Randy
was it just the one that said with the A and Travs underneath it?
Greatest game on dirt, yeah.
Yeah, that one looks terrible.
Yeah, that one's awful.
Yeah, and that's what the Avalanche logo reminds me of.
That is just text. The Avalanche is an actual
Let me
thing.
show you here. Hold on a second.
No. I'm looking at it. I know what you're talking about. You're incorrect. Okay. You were out of order.
I'm out of order. Wait, yes, because you've done jury duty, so you have legal authority now, right?
Yeah,
so put me in my place.
How's that going, by the way?
It's the dumbest case, man. We take breaks on Fridays, so I didn't have to go today, but... And I'm on alternate, so I have to just sit there and watch.
You don't even get to cast a vote or anything?
No, unless somebody dies over the weekend and I have to serve.
Well, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Technically, no.
Well, then we better just leave it at that.
But all I'm saying is that
whenever they say, hey, you're not allowed to talk of this with your friends or your family, they know that you talk with your friends and your family.
What you should do is you should have stood up and yelled, let's get to the hanging, and that would have solved all your problems.
Or death to Whitey or something like that, just to get their attention.
Yeah, well. Anyway, number 28, the Washington Capitals.
I can buy that.
I mean, it's script.
I can buy that.
I've never understood how that. I actually like the Eagle logo, and I actually like the Capitol logo, the one that they used with the.
Now, when you say Eagle logo, which Eagle logo do you mean? Their current alternate or the
bronze and
90s
blue?
One. The 90s one, yeah.
See, I like the current alternate logo. I put that on
I liked it at the beginning, but people want to use it as the primary, and it just seems flimsy to me.
I don't know.
If they had used that as the main logo, they probably would have changed it by now, I think.
I don't like the I've never liked either version of the Capitals script because both of them use lowercase letters.
See, now I will be. I love their current look because it's based on their way old look. But I'm going to be honest. The only reason I like it's because it's what I grew up with, and I just thought it was cool when I was a kid. It's not. I mean, I like it, but I can't sit here and defend it like it's great.
I never liked the 90s look because, okay, look, yes, red, white, and blue is perhaps a bit overplayed, but you're based in Washington, D.C., and your name is the Capitals. Red, white, and blue you should be allowed to use that. So I don't have a problem with the color scheme. Honestly, I don't mind I really don't mind all that much about their identity except the logo. I would just go with a I just put the current alternate on the front of their jerseys, and I think that would be good enough.
All right.
Number 27, Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, I'd put that lower, actually. I hate that thing.
Well, which one are we talking about?
Fine.
The current
the
Sea Orca.
No, yeah, that should be at the bottom if you ask me.
It's okay. I like the Native American totem pole look on the Orca, but the reason it's an Orca is because back when they changed logos, they were bought by Orca Bay, and that's why they.
Yeah, it's an yeah, it's an outdated reference to their corporate overlords.
Oh, for God's sake!
Yeah. And another thing that I don't like about it is that people say, "Oh, it represents the Pacific Northwest," and maybe it does, but okay, it's not a Canuck. Like, yes, I understand Canuck is in and of itself perhaps a bit problematic to depict, but Johnny Canuck, guys.
I hate the skating Johnny Canuck.
How?
Give me the hockey stick in the rectangle. That's all I want.
I don't hate the skating Johnny Canuck, but I hate when people say, "Well, let's just put that on the front of the jersey." I don't think that would work on the front of a jersey. I think like the one with the V with his head on it, maybe, not the full skating. Johnny Canuck.
I like the V with the head on it a lot more than other people. I've heard
some people are like, "Well, it looks like his head's cut off, or it's going to get cut off with scissors." Like, no,
give me the rectangle on the hockey stick. I don't even know what they call it, but that's the one.
It's called a stick and rink. It's called a stick and rink. The original one was supposed to be kind of an abstract C that really isn't there.
Yeah, and I like the updated version of that one. That's fine.
The updated version is fine. Honestly, thinking about it, okay, I'd put the V with Johnny Canuck's head on the front, and then I'd put the updated stick in the rink on the shoulders, and I'd call it a day.
I'd agree. Number 26, Tampa Bay Lightning. Mike, take the floor.
It's terrible. Everything about the Lightning's current identity is terrible, and they should all feel bad.
Well, other than the fact that it's a direct ripoff of the Montreal, oh my God, Mike, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The Montreal Maple Leafs. Other than the fact that it's a direct ripoff of Toronto, I really like it. So sue me.
See, I'm trying to look past the ripoffness, and here's the thing: if I disregard the fact that they ripped off the Maple Leafs color scheme, if I disregard that, I really actually like the Roundel alternate they have. Mm-hmm. But their primary I don't like because the way that it's skewed, it looks really forced. Like they said, we're going for an old-time kind of iconic hockey look. Well, okay, but nobody would have drawn that logo in the 1930s.
Right, if they just put like a normal circle around it.
Exactly. Like a lightning bolt in just a regular circle, like their Roundel alternate, that's fine. But I don't like the skewed perception that they're currently rocking.
Yeah. Number 25, and this one is, history aside, this is a crappy logo. New York Islanders.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. It is a terrible logo.
Yep. If it hadn't stuck around for this long, it'd be bad. Like, you know what? I honestly believe
hell, it's not even it's not even how long it stuck around. If they hadn't won like 4 straight cups in it, it wouldn't.
Well, that. Yeah. But here's I want to put this argument out there, too. I think that if they had taken the 90s logo, the Fisherman logo they made...
Oh, no.
No, just hear me out. If they stayed with that, but not made it teal, if it was just simply blue and orange, and they didn't use the weird jersey template, and they just had like a traditional template with that logo in the real colors, I think that would work.
It would. It would. You want to know what else would work? And this is kind of this wouldn't be a good logo either, but it would be better than what they have. And I actually kind of hope they start to go this way once they move to Brooklyn. I want them to start emphasizing the NY hockey stick logo more and more.
Right. I like the way that it looked on their Stadium Series jerseys.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought that worked.
I'm looking at it now. You're right. I like it because it's old and it's historical and they won 4 cups in it, but it's a lousy
And it has
logo.
the eye that points to the Coliseum. And
Only that's not where they're going to be playing.
It really is a pretty lousy logo, but yeah.
Hey, look, it points to our arena, except when it doesn't. Like, at the very least, they've got to update that map of Long Island to include Brooklyn.
We'll see if they do. Next up, the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Number 24, the Los Angeles Kings.
Okay. I want to run
the current home plate logo sucks.
It does. It does.
If they use just the crown, it'd actually be a pretty good logo.
I've never liked the futuristic super pointy crown they have. You want to know?
I'm okay with it.
I would go. This is my opinion. It's probably unpopular. The Gretzky era logo was the best they've ever had. They shouldn't have changed from it.
I'm not going to argue that too much.
It looks too much like the Chevy logo.
That's true. You've got either a home plate or the Chevy logo.
That is true, but I just.
But it looks good, and sometimes you just got to say, okay, it looks good, and screw everything else.
And it looks good, and I really like that word mark, the font. Like it's. Like,
the Lakers font.
I like the Lakers. The Lakers have a great font. Okay.
With the motion lines. It's just so funny how
fantastic. They're fantastic.
It's like why did that stick around? I don't know.
What, the Kings? The Gretzky logo?
It's just weird when they made the Gretzky logo and it's this combination of the Lakers and Raiders.
Yes.
It's like I don't understand. Why? Make your own thing.
They have never had a unique identity. First they used the Lakers colors, and then they merged, and then they had this unholy mixture of the Lakers and Raiders logo, which I actually like, but it's so denying
the Sacramento Kings.
And then they ripped off the Sacramento Kings for a while, and now
they're back to being the Raiders.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. Back before the Rockies expanded into Major League Baseball and brought the purple and the Marlins and the teal wave and all that, everybody, that was the thing, to rip off the Raiders, because the White Sox did it, the Kings did it. I just wonder, had the teal and purple thing not happened, how many more teams would have gone to the black and silver? It would have been interesting.
Well,
that was the trend.
Yeah. I was going to say Spurs, but they've been around for.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah.
But the thing about the Lakers, about the Kings, though, is that before they went on their current Cup run, they were most relevant during the Gretzky years, and now they've won the Cup twice in black and silver. So as far as I'm concerned, even if it is a blatant Raiders ripoff, black and silver is the Los Angeles Kings at this point. Everything else, like the purple, as far as the Kings are concerned, is just representative of them being like the laughingstock of the league.
Yeah, I mean, I was around when they wore the purple when they were the Lakers, and even I associate them with black and silver more than anything else.
But okay, Zach, how would you feel though? You're a Lakers fan, right?
I am a Lakers fan. Yep.
How would you feel about the hated LA Kings wearing Lakers colors?
It'd be more interesting.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
It'd be more interesting, and I would have been okay with it only because they play in the same arena. Like I like when teams have all the same colors. Mm-hmm. So the Kings in purple and gold is a royal type color scheme. Black and silver doesn't scream royalty to me.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Who was I listening to the other day, and they were talking about that? It was on the Bill Simmons podcast, and he brings that guy in with his half-baked ideas.
Yeah.
And he talked about how every city, all the teams should go to the same color schemes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Toronto's mostly there. We just got to change Toronto FC and the Raptors.
The thing is, the problem where you run into is when team or cities have two teams in the same league.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have the Lakers and Clippers with the same colors. You couldn't have the Jets and Giants.
No, because then the Clippers would look exactly
they'd be the Lakers,
like
yeah.
the Lakers.
Right. Well, then the Clippers would really have to change their logo. But
Yeah.
or you couldn't have, like, the Angels and Dodgers. Like, right now, it's cool that the Angels and Dodgers have two different
And it's
things.
red versus blue. It's
There's
so
red
cool.
versus blue. Right. They're very opposite of each other. When the Angels play up in L.A., they always wear the red jerseys, and it looks cool.
Thank God those red jerseys are so awesome. I'm sorry, but
they're
are.
great. No, that's the Angel jersey I own.
Me too. Same one. Yep.
In fact, I would say the Angels' current look is a reason why I have a soft spot. I wouldn't say I'm an Angels fan, but I have a soft spot for the team because I like their look.
Yeah.
But
moving on, number 23, your current Winnipeg Jets.
no. I love I love
like
that
this
logo. I do. Yes.
You like clip art jet?
I
Like a notch in the top of the thing with a reference to the ownership group?
I don't mind
You
the notch.
like exploding maple leaf?
I'm fine with all of it. I am fine. I like the RCAF homage in the logo.
The homage is fine.
I like
The jet. They could have spent an extra 5 minutes drawing something else on the jet.
I wouldn't mind an update. I wouldn't mind an update that perhaps put a little bit more into the jet. And I could take or leave the notch at the top. But all in all, I like it.
Compass point, yeah.
Well, you know what they yell out during the national
True
anthem?
North.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what can you say? They are the conquering heroes.
This is the Jets
hail our
logo
corporate
right there.
overlords.
That's the one they need to go with.
No.
That's not too busy or anything, is it?
Oh, Jesus. There's a lot going on.
I like how they stuck Winnipeg in there. It's like, can we cram
Winnipeg's-
something else?
Yeah, that's a whole lot of stuff to cram into a little bit of real estate, isn't
that
it?
iconic Winnipeg skyline.
Yeah. There are some cities who shouldn't be able to have skyline logos. Like Winnipeg. I actually don't hate you, Winnipeg, but come on.
The current logo, it's okay. I don't think it's great, but it's all right.
I like the RCAF homages.
Yeah.
And all in all, I think it does enough where it's simple. It's not too much. It's just fine. It's hell of a lot better than any other previous Jets logo they've ever had.
Here's a question, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not including the old Jets because they're not the same team.
No.
Greater than or
Okay.
worse than the Thrashers logo.
Oh, better.
Better. I got to go with better. Yeah.
What you mean?
You don't like angry tornado Thrasher?
bird in a cereal bowl?
You don't like. It's funny because remember, I guess a couple weeks ago when Aesthetics put out that thing about the hockey design in the '90s.
Yeah.
They put that out, that series of things. The guy that they interviewed, he pointed out something. He's like, look at all the logos that were designed in the 90s.
They're all
How many of them have hockey sticks in them?
Mm-hmm.
All of them, probably.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason, and he pointed out, he's like, people that put that sort of crap in logos aren't fans of that sport, or they don't know anything about the sport.
Well, that is obvious from the original Sharks logo.
That's a
where
great point.
Obviously, the artist had no idea what hockey stick actually
It's
looked
like, oh, hey, it's a hockey team, so they should have a hockey stick. Not just thinking that this is a brand, this is a team, we should make it.
Okay,
not
okay.
hockey stick.
Let me point this out to you guys. Original 6 teams. Not a single hockey stick or puck anywhere to be found in the original 6
Now,
teams.
let's think. Well, I mean, the only older team that has one that I can think of is Pittsburgh.
But you know what? That's a skating penguin, and it's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
But you think San Jose Sharks, the Mighty Ducks, the Thrashers, the Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets first time around, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Avalanche have a puck in the A. The original Phoenix Coyote had a stick.
Yep.
I still think that Picasso look would have worked if they had just used the Picasso Phantom of the Opera Coyote head.
Yeah, no. When they made that third jersey with that on the desert background, the desert background was dumb, but the head itself was fine.
Okay. I'm going to link you. Do you guys know the website crack.com?
Oh, yeah. I go to it every day.
I'm going to send you a link. It's written by a professional designer. It's kind of a pictograph. I want you to scroll down to the point where it says sports logos and tell me this isn't a rip on the Atlanta Thrashers.
Okay. Let's see here. Wait, where are we at here?
Sports logos.
I'm
Atlanta. Yeah, kind of.
Wait a minute. Where's it at? I can't find it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Step 1. Ask around and determine that 99.9% of the fans prefer simple classic logos.
Like
Step
all the
2,
old...
make yours a goddamn stylized mess.
Because fuck everyone.
Fuck everyone.
But that's a good point. What was it with the hockey sticks on all those logos in the 90s? Did they think that people...
They were made by all these design firms that had no idea what hockey was.
Again, look at the original San Jose Sharks logo, and you see that the tape doesn't wrap around.
Tape is wrong. The knob's wrong.
The knob's wrong. Like that was designed by someone who only had a vague idea of what a hockey stick looked like.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Mm-hmm. Number 22, the very stoic Ottawa Senators.
I would put that one at the bottom. That logo is a
version of that.
That's a whole lot of suck.
I hate both 3D versions of the Senators logos. The profile logos always looked good. I liked the Peace Tower logo where it was like half the Parliamentary Tower and half the maple leaf, and I liked the classic.
It works.
And I like the classic O, but for some reason they keep insisting on this stupid forward-facing senator.
What is he, a gladiator of some sort?
Because they needed a logo. It's a Roman centurion because they needed a logo for senators. And, the Canadian Senate is staffed by old, white, out-of-shape guys. Because...
You know who the face is supposed to be modeled after?
Marc Messier, because it looks like Marc Messier.
Alexander Daigle.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Huh.
Next up
Marc Messier.
Next up is where the sacrilege starts. 21 out of the 30 logos.
No.
Mike's own
Montreal Maple Leafs.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay, I can't get too mad at that.
Of course, the first line in this article reads, "Sacred cow meets slaughterhouse."
Oh. Them's fighting words.
It's what they say is it's an oversimplified maple leaf.
Mm-hmm, it is.
With a crappy front on top of it.
No, come on, but what's its... Okay.
Okay, here's the way... Okay.
Remember, this has nothing to do with the history or anything. This is just simply design elements of the logo.
I will attempt to defend this choice by saying that the current incarnation of the Maple Leafs logo, it's gone through a few, the current incarnation is one of my least favorite.
I like the more detailed Leafs.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm with that. I'll go along with that.
Exactly. As far as I'm concerned, the more detailed Leaf is their, classic logo. So, the current logo not being
the Winter Classic last year, I love that.
Yeah. No, that's a great logo. That's a great logo.
I'm sorry. You're right. That is sacrilegious because that's way better than 21st.
Well,
that's just wrong. They're the Maple Leafs. What the hell are they supposed to look like?
That is true. The team name is Maple Leafs.
But, it's like one of the things here, it's...
Give it to Brandio.
Toronto's simplistic design fails the eye test in its modern form. It earns points for its iconography. What's more Canadian than a maple leaf? But it's rigid, almost too symmetrical, creating a coldness that robs it of its classic feel. The leaf on Canada's flag, it looks more like an actual leaf.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. The 1967 alternate throwbacks that they wear?
Yeah.
Right.
The leaf on that is actually modeled after the leaf on the Canadian flag. That was a deliberate choice. The current logo, which was designed in 1970, was an even more stylized version of a stylized leaf.
Right.
So I can kind of understand in that the current logo has kind of been passed through one too many filters.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't know what else they could do. Like I said, get it to Brandios, and they can make a super Maple Leaf.
Angry Maple Leaf holding a hockey stick.
Exactly.
We can continue with the hometown theme. Number 20, Greg's own Columbus Blue Jackets. And the current logo, of course, is the star with the Columbus
I'd rank it higher.
Flag.
I'd rank it higher, honestly.
It's
I
fine.
Well,
I don't like the angle the star is at, and I don't like how the flag kind of goes from bottom to top to make the C.
It has really nothing to do with their name, which I guess is an argument that could be made against it. But
I do like the
it.
Dell logo with the cannon.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool logo, too. But, yeah, the flag's kind of backwards. Well,
Did you know that the Columbus NHL franchise? Oh my God, this would have been awful. Did you know what the 2 finalists for the name were?
Well, obviously, Blue Jackets was one.
Blue Jackets and the Columbus Justice.
Oh my God, would that have been a disaster?
Why?
The Justice.
Why?
Why? I don't know. It doesn't say why, but it just says they could have been called the Justice.
Think about this. We almost had a league where the Columbus Justice were playing the Rocky Mountain Extreme.
Emphasis on the X.
Extreme.
Yeah.
Thank God that didn't happen.
Man.
The Justice?
And on top of that, in 1995, and again, I don't know how reliable this is. I'm just kind of going off a rumor, but in 95, apparently the Devils were thinking about moving to Nashville and becoming the Hockey Tonks.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of goofy.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you see, that's the thing, though. I'm all about the silly minor league names, so I would have liked that.
But
you remember, you're talking to a hardcore.
To be a silly minor league. We're trying to be serious here.
We're trying to be NHL.
You're talking to a hardcore Red Blacks fan here, guys. Come on.
Number 19. This one I don't agree with. The Calgary Flames.
I agree with that.
It's a flaming sea.
I know, but it's really uninspired to me. But I don't know how else you would do it.
Yeah,
so there's that.
That's what I'm saying. It's what do you want them to do?
It's a it's a sea. It's on fire. Calgary Flames. It works for me. I will say I really like their new alternate logo they introduced with the mountains and the.
Yeah, I think that's too much.
I mean, they kind of, I think, tried to go the same route the old Atlanta Flames logo, but I don't think they did as good a job of rendering it. Let's put it that way. But,
well, the Atlanta Flames logo is still around as the alternate captain's patch.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
It's actually kind of funny because when they first did it, they wanted complete consistency. So the first few seasons they did, the captain's C was just a smaller Flames logo.
Which was stupid.
So, you had, Theo Fleury skating around with 2 Flames logos on his jersey.
Yeah.
The Calgary Angels.
Yeah. Exactly.
Number 18, again, I don't agree. Some of these things are starting to get a little ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Number 18, what most people consider a modern classic, the New Jersey Devils.
Oh, that's higher. That's got to be higher.
Yeah.
It's an N, it's a J, it's a devil.
Yeah.
It is almost... I'm not an artist, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, but in my opinion, that logo is flawless.
I don't know what
an actual devil,
right?
Well,
yeah, you want
devil.
You want angry
Let's call
devil,
grandiose.
Angry devil with a hockey stick. Come on.
Yeah. They actually do have an Angry Devil hockey stick alternate logo that they use for merchandise, but they never put it on the jerseys.
Here, I'll show you what. Okay, this is what we want to go with. This is it right here. All right, you ready for this? Mm-hmm. This is what we need. Get rid of the Devil's Den part, but just make him the logo. There you go.
No thanks.
Yeah, I think I'm with Mike. I don't know what you could do to make this better.
Yeah, it's one of the perfect logos in the league. That will never change. They'll never change that logo.
I mean, the Devils get a lot of flack because apparently, from a financial standpoint, they are a mess. But I do like how they have made an effort to be we are going to build our own traditions in the same style as the Canadians and the Red Wings.
And they had a few years when they were green and red, but besides that, they changed to black and red.
I was going to ask you guys about that.
The exact same since then.
A lot of people like that green and red look. I actually prefer the red and black myself.
I like the red and black better. I think the green and red's interesting, but it doesn't make sense for the Devils.
I'm very conflicted. Because I really do like the green and black, but I mean the green and red. But if I'm being completely honest, at most I'd like to see the green and red stuck to a once a year alternate, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, if you wanted to put some green in it, maybe it's just a real minor highlight. That wouldn't be the worst thing. But I just don't see. I couldn't see them going back to the red and green entirely.
I do like the striping design on the green and red.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah,
I think the red helmet's weird too, but that's just
oh yeah, that is strange.
Number 17, again a logo I like, but I can see it's a little too plain. They could probably do something with it. The Edmonton Oilers.
Oh no. No, that's a beautiful
It's
logo.
an oil drop, and you got the droopy Oilers font. I actually like. They could probably do something with like an oil derrick or something. That would be pretty cool.
Kind of like
they had an alternate logo that looked like that, didn't they?
They had that gear weird looking thing.
No, the gear one's weird.
What, the RoboSperm?
Yeah, that one. RoboSperm. Yeah.
No. I know what one you're talking about. I'm trying to find it. It wasn't.
And it's not the guy that's pulling the lever either.
Oh, him. Yeah. No.
Are you talking like a? Oh, go ahead, Mike.
The guy pulling the lever actually was one of my. I actually really like that one.
Yeah, that one's fine.
Are you talking like something similar to what the old Houston Oilers did, Zach, with the oil rig thing?
Yeah, I like the Houston Oilers.
Yeah, I do too. That was great. That's not a bad idea.
I think that could have worked for Edmonton.
I think the Oilers had one of the great looks of all time. I mean, just about every color combination they went with too. They were just awesome, top to bottom.
I will say that I got to go with the. I got to say I like the Oilers. I just can't imagine the Edmonton Oilers wearing anything else as their primary.
Yeah, me either. That's one of my favorites.
But that's part of the thing that comes in with the history attached to it. Mm-hmm. Now you can never change it. But I think like if the Oilers were to be an expansion team today, they couldn't come out with that.
It would be an angry oil rig with a hockey stick.
Exactly.
Speaking of angry things and hockey sticks,
there's the title of this week's episode. Go ahead.
Angry things and hockey sticks, number 16. San Jose Sharks.
You know what? Even though the original logo didn't know what a hockey stick looked like, it was still better than the current anime cartoons.
I like that the stick still isn't fixed. By the way, there's still
it's
a knob
not.
stick.
Yeah, no. The stick.
Earth 2 designers, the knobs that are on hockey sticks are made out of tape. They're not actually wood.
They're not actually part of the sticks.
Oh Lord. How do it's funny, the things I never noticed that before.
Yeah, now you see it and you're going to think about it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's the same way that, like, you know how everyone loves the 90s and early 2000s Dallas Stars jerseys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star pattern.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out to me once that the star, like the bottom points of the star, don't match up with the jersey and the pattern on the logo.
Yeah, because the pattern is a straight star pattern, but the logo is italicized.
Right, and then once I saw that, it bothered me, and that ruined that jersey for me.
But
anyway,
I
actually like the original Shark logo more than this one.
The original Shark logo I liked because
even though it looked dead and lifeless and just floating through the water.
I liked it because it had enough aggression in it to feel appropriate for a team called the Sharks, but it didn't seem like it was over the top aggressive.
Right. It wasn't giving human characteristics to the animal either.
Exactly.
It kind of looked like what a shark would look like if it was biting a stick.
Like you said,
now this one has angry eyes and these big teeth and
with a hockey stick.
With a hockey stick.
Well, the hockey stick, I think it's fine. I mean, you could take the hockey stick out and it's still a pretty decent logo.
I think if you took the hockey stick out, it would improve it a great deal. Mm-hmm. If you did the triangle bit and did a redesign of that. And
as much as I like the triangle, I like the full body version of the shark better.
I don't like the full body. Okay, here's the thing. I will reserve final judgment on the full body shark for when I see it on a teal background, because they keep putting that full body shark logo on a black sweater, and so you've got a primary black logo on a black sweater with like just a very tiny white outline and. Yeah.
Also, I don't like that the shark has an orange eye. That's stupid.
Yeah, the orange really should be downplayed as much as possible.
And honestly, God, was it really that difficult to just make that little knob on the stick white or black? Really?
I guess so.
And
it looks like the end of a baseball bat.
Yep. And maybe, just maybe, the Sharks could try wearing teal in the playoffs.
Might as well.
We'll see what they wear when they go outside for their outdoor game next year.
Where are we at?
By the way, the Sharks and Kings. Kings get to do this 2 years in a row because they're so special.
Hey, they're a modern dynasty, dude.
Yeah, they're playing at Levi Stadium next February.
You can. All you got to do is finish sixth and then win the cup, and you're a dynasty. It's just that simple.
All you have to do is put together a kind of mediocre team and then wait for the Flyers to cut their 2 top forwards, and you're good to go.
Number 15. This one is just. It's. We've long passed what spot it should have been at.
Mm-hmm.
Number 15, the Nashville Predators.
That made it to 15?
15, according to this panel.
Okay, see, here's the thing.
Here's
when people question me about the Winnipeg Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Take the Winnipeg Jets and the Nashville Predators. Come on.
Here's what they say. The Nashville Predators presented our panel with an interesting debate point. How much do we like certain logos simply because we've grown up with them? The Preds have only been around since 1998, so they do not benefit from any sort of nostalgia. And though the design is definitely new school, Nashville has barely changed their mascot in the past decade and a half. I will say the new version of it is better than the old version of it.
Where they had, like...
1,000 colors?
Yeah, 1,000 colors shoved into it.
RoboCat?
Yeah.
But this, it's still...
Look, this is okay, first off, for Nashville...
I mean, it's fine, but it's not 15.
I think it's a horrible identity for that city. It's just they had to go with something musical, not necessarily the hockey tonks.
They're
trying to now. They're trying to now.
They have strings on the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, but it's still a saber-toothed tiger. Come on.
They're trying to have the musical theme, but keep the Predators' name.
Greg, you know why they chose the saber-toothed tiger, right?
I know.
When they were building the
didn't
arena,
they discover some bones or some shit?
Yeah, they discovered saber-toothed tiger fossils. So they're like, hey, that's a neat idea.
Yeah, except that it's not.
Yeah.
Another thing I even kind of like about them is their color scheme's okay.
Yeah, I like the gold jerseys.
Yeah.
I do like the gold jerseys, but you know what? They should work something out. They should be able to wear those at home and wear a navy version on the road. Switch it up. The navy at home and gold on the road.
There is one problem I'm having here. We're at 15 and we have not heard anything about the Florida Panthers yet.
We're getting there.
Okay. They're already 14, too high. Okay, go ahead.
14. Your New York Hockey Rangers.
No.
Number 14.
No.
Now, what are they considering the logo? Is it the shield or is it the script?
The shield.
Okay.
Yeah, the shield.
No, sorry. Fuck them in there. We don't give a shit about history. That's an iconic NHL logo. I'm sorry. That's one of the greats.
As a fan of the Kitchener Rangers, I feel the need to raise a point.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome, and they're wrong. There we go.
Beautiful.
No, I don't know.
Here's their argument.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing that speaks to the positive reception it's had over the franchise's years with the fan base that it hasn't changed too much in their, since 1926. But at a time when brands are almost always reshaping their image, the Rangers aren't standing out with their current logo.
They don't need to stand out.
That's what makes it strong, because they don't need to change it.
Exactly. If you don't need to change, that's the sign of having a fantastic brand.
Exactly. It's when you get it right, you leave it alone.
And okay, here's a more detailed explanation of why. And again, this is coming from a Kitchener Rangers perspective, but I think it definitely applies to the New York Rangers. The Kitchener Rangers attempted to change their logo so they look less like New York Ranger knockoffs. And they introduced Yosemite Sam as their logo, basically. It wasn't him exactly.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it wasn't him exactly, but, it was pretty bad. So you take that. So, they tried to say, okay, we're not using the Rangers shield. What else can we use to represent Rangers? And it kind of goes back to what we've been saying all along about, it would be an angry devil of a hockey stick. No, but you think about it. What else could you possibly use to represent the term Rangers? And everything that I can think of, aside from maybe the Lady Liberty logo, which is too modern for an older team like the Rangers, but what else could you have that wouldn't look ridiculous?
I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. See, this is where we run into trouble with the whole logo thing and everybody on the modernization kicks and all that. If you're talking shit like that about the Rangers and the Maple Leafs, you just don't get it.
Well, hold on, because we're not done.
Okay. I just want to share.
Hold on.
That's what happens when you try to get too creative with the name Rangers.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Keep your pitchforks sharpened in your...
Oh.
Number 13. The Montreal.
No!
Oh, geez.
No!
Any little remaining shred of legitimacy this list had has gone out the window. I'm sorry.
I'm throwing things.
Sorry.
You want to It's funny because they even say, and that's why plenty of Rabbit fans have already oiled and ignited their torches already. The Habs, not in the top 10, subscription canceled.
Yeah.
This is their reasoning. It's the question to ask, however, isn't how could you? It's what's truly great about the logo. We know it calls to mind nostalgic images of Rocket Richard, the Blue Blanc Rouge, blah, 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 blah. But with all that history and championships, if you take that all away and you just have the logo, well, there's a C and there's an H.
Yes,
and
Canadians
they're together.
Hockey Club. There you go. C and H, Canadians Hockey Club.
And the thing that's stupid too, and I don't agree with this because I think this is actually a sign of a solid logo. But ironically, the rich history that many of us doodling this logo when we were kids is also what drags it down. An 8-year-old can indeed replicate it rather easily with a few pencil crayons.
So
that to me says it's a strong logo. Like
right.
If a kid can like if a young kid can like say like, oh, I'm drawing a Canadians logo. Nobody could draw like whatever the hell the Thrashers were using, and that's why it sucked.
Yeah,
that's
and okay. I
Take a breath, Mike. There you go.
I'm a Maple Leafs fan.
Yes, you are.
I'm not particularly fond of the Canadiens de Montreal.
Yes,
but
yes,
when I see that logo. And when I see that red uniform with the blue stripes and the white stripes, you know what? I think, at least as far as hockey is concerned, that uniform represents excellence. It represents greatness. Mm-hmm. And you could say, oh, we'll just take all the history away. And I think that's a flaw. That people say, oh, the Canadians were an expansion team. They couldn't come up with that now. No, they couldn't, but you're missing the point because that's counterfactual. The fact is that they do have that history. You can't objectively analyze a logo without taking into account the emotions that people have invested in it.
Exactly.
So when you say stuff, it's a C and an H. And if you look back, one of the earlier versions of that logo had an A, because at the time the name was the Canadians Athletic Club, and now they're the Canadians Hockey Club. And all of the great accomplishments that the Canadians have achieved throughout the years wearing that logo.
24 Stanley Cups.
24 Stanley Cups, more retired players than any other team in the league, oldest hockey team in the world, I think. I don't think there is a team that has existed longer continuously than the Montreal Canadiens. And you just look at all of that and you say that logo represents longevity, greatness, excellence. And I'm saying this as a Maple Leafs fan. You see that Canadiens logo and you know that those guys.
I agree with every word of that except for one part. I prefer the white jerseys, but other than that, I'm right there with you.
Well,
but yeah, this is what's so bullshit about this.
Well, and here we go, number 12.
Oh, okay, it's going to get better.
The Florida Panthers.
Oh my God! Above the Rangers, above the Maple Leafs, above the Canadiens. Come on.
Rocket Richard is sitting in his grave.
That Panthers logo, sucks.
Their first choice in logo has proven to be such a hit, it's essentially stayed the same ever since.
Isn't that what they knocked the Rangers down for?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. You just kind of. Oh my God. Who was this from again?
The Hockey News.
I won't be subscribing to that anytime soon.
Oh God. Okay.
Hockey people are saying this nonsense? Come on.
Number 11, the Minnesota Wild.
I can't get that upset because that is a cool logo.
That's a good logo,
That's a great logo.
No argument there.
Yeah. But here, so
great color scheme, the whole bit, yeah.
Here are the so that's number 11. So there's 10 teams left. So these are the teams that make up the top 10. They haven't released it yet. They only do it Monday through Friday. So these teams are top 10.
Okay.
The Anaheim Ducks. Arizona Coyotes.
No.
The Boston Bruins.
Okay.
Buffalo Sabres.
Okay. I'm all right with that.
Chicago Blackhawks.
I'm all right with that.
Dallas Stars.
The new one? It's okay, but it's certainly not better than the Rangers, the Habs, or any other.
Detroit Red Wings?
I can live with that.
Let's see who we missed.
Well, wait a minute. Let's back up a second, though.
Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, St. Louis Blues.
Okay. So you're telling me that somehow the Red Wings logo is top 10 material, but the Rangers isn't?
Right, and isn't the Red Wings logo pretty damn well? I mean, I'm sure they've tweaked it over the years, but it's not exactly new.
It's been the same since the 30s. Since the 30s, it's...
I mean, come on. You're talking about, okay, the Rangers with the shield and whatever they said about it. The Bruins, it's a B in the middle of what's supposed to represent the Boston Hub thing. That's it. That's all it is. Big deal.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, if we're looking at this objectively, when you have the Sharks, an animal with a stick, how is that with a triangle... How is that any different than penguin with stick and triangle?
Mm-hmm. And again, this is ridiculous because they say the Rangers haven't changed it since 1926. They don't stand out. But then they say the Panthers are great because they haven't changed it.
What they essentially said was they got it right the first time and left it alone. And that's okay for the Panthers, but it's not okay for the Rangers. That's bullshit. Mm-hmm. I'm going to subscribe to Hockey News just so I can unsubscribe.
And I love my team. I love the Ducks.
Not top 10.
The D is a better choice than the word mark is. It's not top 10.
No, I'm sorry.
The Arizona Coyotes
again.
I still think that's weird calling them the Arizona Coyotes.
I know. I had to catch myself. It's weird when you go on NHL.com because they list all the logos alphabetically at the top.
Yeah, now they're at the
Coyotes.
Top. Yep.
Now they're next to the Ducks, and it's weird. I don't like it.
This is gonna a good as time as any to just kind of come out with it. I'm prepared to say I like the Mighty Ducks logo better than
the original.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I fought the good fight for a long time, but at this point, kind of just taking everything in, kind of looking at their past. The Mighty Ducks looked better back when they were the Mighty Ducks. Yes. There you go.
No argument here.
Zach's won.
Yes. Big week in terms of the NCAA, their legislations, the rules. Well, the NCAA this week, the board voted to allow the Power 5 conferences, which, of course, the Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10.
The MAC.
The MAC.
SEC.
Basically, they allowed
USA.
They allowed them autonomy to make their own rules.
Well, that's kind of not fair.
Yeah.
Not fair at all. So what? Okay, how far does this go? Is it? So let me ask a question quickly here. Does this mean that, say, Ohio State can pay Braxton Miller $250,000 a year, but Toledo can't do the same with their quarterback? Kind of difference.
Let me see, because I was having a little bit of trouble understanding it myself. The Division I Board of Directors voted to allow the 65 schools in the 5 richest conferences to make some of their own rules regarding stipends, insurance benefits, coaching staff sizes, and more.
The first thing that comes to mind when I hear this, I've been hearing a lot the past few years, people saying, "Oh, the power conferences are just going to break away from the NCAA anyway and do their own thing."
Yeah,
this sounds to me like the NCAA is trying to take steps to dissuade them from doing that.
Exactly.
Here's a breakdown from the New York Times where they outline 11 areas where it's most likely where they're going to have more areas of autonomy.
Okay.
Athletics personnel. It's described. I'm going to read 2 things. One is the actual definition as provided by the NCAA, and then the New York Times translation of what that means. Athletics personnel. Definitions and limitations on athletic personnel and legislation to meet the support needs of student athletes while properly managing the number of personnel directly, blah, 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 blah. This concerns non-coaching personnel who in recent years have proliferated at bigger universities. Big 5 universities and other colleges want to set parameters on them, but they do not agree on a number. So you can have a bunch of these advisors and crap like that. B is insurance and career transition. Currently, I'm just going to read the translation. Currently, athletes can take out loans to buy insurance to protect against injuries. The Big Five would be able to elect to expand this, potentially allowing universities to help pay for the insurance. As for agents, athletes would still not be able to negotiate compensation from universities, but there may eventually be room for them to engage agents while competing in college.
So they're going to allow – this is exactly what Mike said. This is all just stuff to try to keep them from separating from the herd and just going out and doing their own thing.
Right. And that's the other thing that was explained to me yesterday is basically the only reason the NCAA did this is so that they can allow themselves to still exist.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they hadn't done this, these 5 schools or 5 conferences were going to break away and
just do their own thing.
I mean, hell, the SEC could probably exist on its own and remain viable for decades upon decades.
If you took away some of the NCAA rules with the SEC, it could probably compete with the NFL. I mean, come on.
University of Alabama.
Career pursuits unrelated to athletics. Currently, student athletes cannot make money through any pursuit, say like music, by using their names. The Big Five could choose to change that.
God! So they're basically saying you guys can just all those years we pontificated about the hallowed nature of amateur athletics. You guys can just ignore that.
Well, and that kind of plays into the other thing I'm going to talk about in a second, the O'Bannon case. But recruiting restrictions. This would enable the Big Five conferences to set rules with the academic needs of high school students in mind. They may choose to limit recruiting trips, for example.
Well, okay. Here's my. Go ahead.
Pre-enrollment expenses support. This would be enable the Big Five to authorize more resources to be spent on prospective athletes making visits. The Big Five could pay for 2 parents to accommodate an athlete. Basically, all these things, pre-enrollment expenses support, financial aid, awards, benefits, and expenses, academic support, health and wellness, meals and nutrition, time demands. Basically, these schools can now take away all these restrictions.
Yeah.
So
here's my question.
Do whatever they want now.
Well, here's my question. If you're going to do it with these 5, why not just do it for everyone? I don't understand the logic. I understand why they're doing it because
5 make money.
Right, but
because those 5 are the ones threatening to walk away.
The MAC can't get up and walk away.
No, but it's not fair to. We had what conference is UCF in? Central Florida. Conference USA or the All-American or one of those or whatever it's called?
Yeah, they were in Conference USA, yeah.
They won the freaking, what was it, the Fiesta Bowl last year? Or,
no, they're in the American Conference.
But they won a BCS Bowl last year.
Right.
It's like I said, if you're going to do this, do it for everyone or don't do it at all. You can't. This just creates an incredibly unbalanced playing field. Not that it wasn't unbalanced already.
Well, basically, this was going to happen. These 5 conferences were eventually just going to break away and saying, we're going to do whatever we want anyway. So the NCAA is basically just saying, no, you can still do that and be with us.
Hey, as long as we can keep our logo stamped on your field or your merchandise somewhere, we're fine with whatever you do. Well, that's great. I'm all for that. But
let's see. The Big Five could take away the restrictions for athletic dead periods, take away restrictions on how much food they can give them, take away restrictions on their medical coverage and health insurance, more resources for academics, particularly academic risk athletes. Big Five conferences to let themselves fund athletes' families to travel and see them play in the postseason, like the Final Four, and also receive complimentary admission to games. Financial aid. This is the issue that is the most immediate action expected. It would allow the Big Five conferences to raise their scholarship amounts by a few $1,000s to cover the quote-unquote full cost of attendance and allow them to grant things like lifetime scholarships.
A lifetime scholarship?
Yeah.
Again, I think all this is fine. It's just that you need to do it for everyone, not just those 5 conferences, because I know they're trying to just keep them around, but how is it going to hurt anything if you allow Toledo or Bowling Green or Central Florida to do the same things that Ohio State and Alabama and LSU are doing? What's the difference? You know what I mean? Why does it matter?
Well, I find this so laughably hypocritical that the NCAA is still trying to stand up as this bastion of amateur ideals, but they're basically saying to their moneymakers, all that stuff we've been saying for years, you don't have to follow it.
Right, it applies to Toledo, but it doesn't apply to you, Ohio State.
Exactly.
That's just some serious bullshit.
Well, and here's some statements by Bob Bowlesby, the commissioner of the Big 12. And these are some. He's an idiot. I think the only message is that our student athletes and our programs are largely the face of what America knows as college athletics. We win more than 90% of the NCAA championships every year. I think this vote recognizes that there are some differences in our programs, and programs at our level have some unique challenges, have some relationships with student athletes that are evolving. We need to have rules that respond to the evolution of those changes. I think it's an acknowledgement that some of us have challenges that are unique. It's because those challenges that we felt we needed an opportunity to control a little bit more of our own destiny, which is a whole bunch of garbage.
Right.
Basically, by controlling our own destiny, they're basically saying, so we were going to do this anyway, but, the NCAA said that we could anyway, so we're just going to stick around.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. This is just pandering. I don't understand how they do. I mean, it's just pandering. I don't know how else to put it. You're pandering to those 5 conferences. It's because you want to keep them in your organization. That's the only reason you're doing this. Are you telling me Ohio State has tougher challenges than Marshall does? Come on.
Well,
please.
Apparently so, and they need help.
Okay, sure.
Marshall's been guys.
The Ohio State athletic program the football program needs help.
Marshall doesn't need the help that Ohio State needs.
I guess not. Yeah. Poor Ohio State, poor Alabama, poor Michigan. Oh my God, it must be so tough. I mean, God, I think Ohio State makes more money than some third world countries do, just on football. Please.
So the other thing that plays into this is for the long-running case that we had for a while with Ed O'Bannon versus the NCAA. Mm-hmm. And this was specifically regarding the NCAA using the likenesses and numbers and models of players in their football and basketball games.
Where they didn't have the player names. So it was like quarterback number 4. You all knew who it was.
Johnny Manziel was QB number 2.
Yeah.
And that's funny. He runs a lot like Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, it was funny.
And he looks a lot like Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Ohio State's quarterback number 5 was from, I think, the same hometown as Braxton Miller. Same size, same everything. Yeah. But it's not supposed to be him.
So there was a 99-page decision laid down.
Okay.
But here's the point. Consistent with the less restrictive alternatives found, the court will enjoin the NCAA from enforcing any rules and bylaws that prohibit its member schools and conferences from offering their football or Division I basketball recruits a limited share of the revenues generated from the use of their names, images, and likenesses, in addition to full grant and aid. However, the injunction will not preclude the NCAA from implementing rules capping the amount of compensation that may be paid to student athletes while they're enrolled in school. The NCAA will not be permitted to set this cap below the cost of attendance, as the term is defined in its current bylaws.
Meaning
that if somebody gets a scholarship, but it's not a full scholarship, the amount of money that they would be able to receive is up to the amount of cost of attendance. So it's not extra money. All the money would go to the cost of their schooling. Or if they get a full scholarship, let's say, they don't get any money.
So basically, Ed O'Bannon.
So they can set a limit on the amount of money that they.
So basically, what I'm hearing is that nothing's changing.
Right.
It's changing, but
a little
it
bit.
isn't.
But
it's the first. It's the first step. Is what it is.
Well, but to be honest, if they...
But now that we have this Big 5 move, I don't know how much this is going to matter.
Right. Well, the only problem I can see with this is if you have to start giving the college players a cut of the money, EA Sports is just going to stop making the games because it'd just be way too expensive.
EA Sports doesn't even have an agreement with the NCAA this year. There's not going to be an NCAA football game.
Oh, no.
They should make a football game of a bunch of fake schools. I'd play that.
Yeah.
Hey, the Alabama University, the Red Wave,
right?
Oh yeah, the
Ohio State,
Gainesville State, Florida University,
right? Yeah. Columbus State, home of the lilac bushes or the peanuts or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah,
the Columbus State walnuts.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Just the NCAA, they just got to, they're half pregnant on this. With going back to what we were talking about before, they've got to just do it for everybody. What the hell's the difference?
Indeed.
Are they worried that Toledo's going to rise to the top and all of a sudden be better than everyone else?
I think what they're. I'm trying to think what the argument is for it. Because I was going to say that I guess they're afraid that if they let everything run free, that the Power 5 conferences will run away with everything, and then there'll be nothing left for the
They're going to do that anyway.
They've already done that.
I thought about it for another second, and that's what they're going to do anyway. So I don't know, man.
It's pandering. It's just a great big bunch of pandering by the NCAA.
Why not just let them go? Or instead of
they can't let them go.
Giving them more autonomy, just make them like Division I Super A,
or like make them the Premier League.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Where you have like in English soccer you have like the football championship and you think, oh, that must be the top league. No, the Premier League is. So just do it where like you have like Division 1 and then Division Awesome or something, and then that's what the 5 conferences will be. Would be like Division Awesome. Like, are you D1? No, we're DA.
We're DA, man. We're Division Awesome. Mm-hmm. This is just it's the start. It's the beginning of the end for the NCAA. They're going to have to just change their entire approach to everything, but they can't let these guys walk because when they walk, all the TV money goes with them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the NCAA still gets a cut of that, if I'm not mistaken.
They do, and like
all the merchandising money walks out the door with them.
If the SEC and Big Ten and Pac-12 they all decide, we're going to go do our own thing, then yeah, NCAA's up shit creek on that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think the Big Ten should change its name to the Big 14 because it would make a better logo.
I liked it when they had 11 teams and the Big Ten logo had a hidden 11 in it.
Yeah. That was better than this.
Now it's the B1G.
The B1G conference, yeah.
Yeah, what a stupid thing that was.
Hey, the Big 12 still has 10 teams. And Notre Dame's got one foot in the ACC, kind of, sort of. And... the American Conference.
How much longer are they going to be able to survive as an independent in football?
Well, but you know how their current agreement works now, right?
No.
Or I think it kicks in next year. They have to play like 5 ACC opponents every year.
Oh.
And then the rest of their schedule is up to them.
That's why we're losing the Michigan Notre Dame game, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Notre Dame basically had to pick and choose which games it was going to keep from their traditional rivalries. So they're keeping Michigan State, they're keeping USC, they're keeping Stanford, I think, and Navy.
So I've got a question. With these new privileges being granted to the Big 5 power conferences, does this hasten Notre Dame?
I don't know if Notre Dame's included in that.
Because
but you know what though? I think because Notre Dame's in the ACC and everything else.
Yeah.
So I think they get included.
But would they be able to do this in regards to football? Is what I'm saying.
I would have to think so.
Like, would they just? I mean, at that point, you might as well just say, "Okay, we're an ACC school now in terms of football."
Sorry.
Bless you.
I think they might just have to. I think if there was something that would have to push them into a conference, it'd be something like this.
Right.
Like if the Big 5 conferences were to actually split off, then Notre Dame would have to join.
Notre Dame would be all sorts of screwed if that happened.
They'd have to go.
Yeah.
And I never understood why they just go with the Big 10. Because that made so much more sense.
Oh, my God. It would have been great. I mean, just imagine you're going to get Ohio State – or not Ohio State. You're going to get Michigan, Notre Dame every year, Ohio State, Notre Dame. There's a lot of great matchups just in conference play alone. Then you add in their USC game and all that. I mean –
right. They could still play USC and Stanford out of –
Sure. But that's the thing, too. They're not relevant enough in football anymore to be pulling this we're bigger than everybody, so we're going to remain independent nonsense. They're just not.
Well, no, I mean, if the dominoes keep falling like they are, they're going to have to go eventually because then there'd be nowhere for them to go.
Now, what are they in the ACC? Like, when I think ACC schools, I think Southeast and sort of like Southern Atlantic coast.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, Virginia, those schools. Yeah,
yeah, like
North
the Carolina. the Carolinas. Why is Notre Dame included? Just in terms of history and geography, the Big Ten seems more.
This
fitting.
is the ACC now. The ACC now is Boston College, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Louisville is now in there. This is their first year in the ACC.
Syracuse, right?
Yeah, Miami, North Carolina State, Notre Dame, Pitt, Syracuse, then Virginia Tech, Wake Forest.
Yeah, because when Syracuse and Pitt split for the ACC, the Big East used to be one of the great basketball conferences, and it's just nothing now. But see, that's the thing. The way this is going right now, we could end up in a world where Notre Dame is in the Atlantic Coast Conference and Maryland is in the Big Ten. I mean, tell me that, along with Rutgers.
Yeah, I mean, Maryland left the ACC
to go to the Big Ten.
Which,
But I think the Big Ten wanted Rutgers because they want to get into the New York market somehow.
Right.
And I guess that's the way to do it. But,
but New York doesn't care about college.
No, they don't. They
don't care about college sports in general.
No. Maybe basketball a little bit come Big East tournament time, but nothing.
Not really.
No, not really, no. I mean, Syracuse for years, we talked about it a while back with those ridiculous uniforms that came out with, the ones that represented the New York skyline or whatever.
Even though they don't play in New York City.
Right, but they have been trying for so long to become New York's college football team, the state of New York and the city, and no one cares.
But, that's what's weird to me. Like, when I think of areas in the United States, and correct me if I'm wrong, that are big into college football, college sports kind of in general, I think the South and I think the Midwest.
And I think in the West to a degree, too.
And then I think out West, too, like the Pacific Coast. So, the Big Ten traditionally being a Midwest conference, I don't see why they would feel the need to get into the New York market because they don't need them. They don't need the New York media market.
No, they don't. And I think I could think of that maybe makes a little bit of sense, maybe from a basketball recruiting standpoint, that they would have more exposure there. So maybe you could get – because there's a lot of good New York high school players that end up playing in college. But that's a hell of a stretch just to try to – it just makes no sense. But you're right, Mike. The Northeast – at least in my experience, having been around there, has very little interest in college sports. It's just not what they don't care about it, which is good, I suppose, because I would much rather see it like that than to see it the way it is around here, where
now the big 5 power conferences can be their own leagues, essentially.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my alma mater and all that, but there are people in this state that just take Ohio State football way too seriously.
I'm quite happy about the level of passion, that exists for college sports up in Canada, because it's like whatever. Hey, we like. I'm happy when the Western Mustangs win a game, but yeah.
Well, see, that's my thing. Like the bigger the Buckeyes get, the more interested I become in the Toledo Rockets, because I went to school there too, and it's just I don't know. The whole thing's just out of control.
It seems absurd when college sports, when the TV deals for college sports start to reach like NFL levels.
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on, we're still talking about, kids playing, what is supposed to be an extracurricular.
Right.
Yeah, and it just seems
it's
broken.
Scarier still is how into high school sports they are around here, but we could do a whole show on that.
I hear Texas and California are particularly bad when it comes to
it's
Texas.
Creepy.
Yeah, it's very creepy. It's Texas is probably the worst, I'd say. Followed, it would be a toss-up between Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida after that.
I've heard high school football in California is a big deal.
Zach, is it a big deal there?
What, high school football here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Because it's creepy here. I mean, to see these people, you see a Saturday and everybody dresses in their Buckeyes gear, right? Or maybe a Sunday if you're in Northeast Ohio or whatever. In the Browns area, they wear their Brown stuff. What's weird is when I'm out on a Friday somewhere and I see people all dressed up in their Monroeville Eagles gear. And
yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's weird. Is when you see. I think it's weird. Like, if you're not a parent,
exactly,
you don't wear merchandise.
Exactly. If you're, unless your kid's playing on the team, don't wear the hat.
I think it's weird. Like, if you're I think it's weird when people are just fans of local high school football.
Right.
When it's just like, hey, Mission Viejo's playing tonight. Oh, who are they playing? Oh, they're playing Servite. That'll be a good game. Let's go watch. Like, no.
Like I said, we cover high school sports now at the station I work at. But before that, I
cover it for my newspaper, but I don't.
Right.
But
before that, I used to do highlight tapes for teams every year. And I tell you what, it was just bizarre because one of the schools I did, the Monroeville Eagles that I brought up earlier, the town itself has about 1,500 people, okay? The high school, I think the average graduating class is about 40. Mm-hmm. That's 40 seniors in the whole school, right? Their football games will draw about 2,500 to 3,000 people every week. Now, I'm sorry, but there's just not that many parents for 40 kids or 60 or whatever. It was weird.
And it's kind of like, okay, if you're living in an area where high school football is big and you have like a team you root for that you have no affiliation with that school, God damn it, that's creepy.
It's really creepy.
I think it's different in certain parts of the country though. Like here, I think it's weird because you have other things to do. Like in some places I understand there's nothing else to do on a Friday night, so the town shuts down and they go watch football. It's fine because, the next town isn't for another 5 miles or whatever. But like here, in a 5-mile radius, there's probably, 6 high schools?
All I know is this: if I lived where you live, I don't know that I would ever even be aware of high school football, let alone go watch it. Yeah, there'd be no reason.
I mean, there's big coverage of it, but it's not, and they put some of the games, the bigger games, they'll put on TV.
Yeah,
the Modern Days and the Mission Viejos and Westlake and stuff like that. But they won't put, like, my high school might be on the local cable access channel. But they won't, and they'll do it on tape delay, like tomorrow night or something.
Well, I don't know about California, but in Ohio, you're not allowed to broadcast high school football on Fridays, mind you, live. Yeah, it has to be tape delay. You're not allowed.
They play it. They'll put some on like the Fox Sports channel.
Oh yeah, we hear the Fox, all the regional Fox Sports. I think we've got Fox Sports Cincinnati and Cleveland, or I think the Cleveland one's called Ohio. Mm-hmm. Actually, they're both called Ohio, but they're split based on the region. Right. And they have a high school game of the week. Every week, yeah. Sure. It's just.
But actually, there's a on their website here. They have, since there's so many high schools, they have something that's called Prep Zone, and they'll play a bunch of, like, maybe 4 or 5 different games online.
Well, in Toledo, they've got this thing called the Buckeye Cable Sports Network, which that's what they do. They cover high school sports. And they do a lot of it.
If you need a network dedicated to covering high school sports, again, unless it's made by high schoolers for high schoolers, then it just has kind of a creepy vibe. I'm sorry, it does.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If it were my choice to make alone, I wouldn't cover the games because I just don't think there's any need to show them on television. Mm-hmm. Why would you want to watch this? But it's not my decision. I have to.
Some people just like football too.
Yeah, but come on.
How much football do you need, though? I think that if you just, like, between NCAA and the NFL.
Exactly.
You cover. And you know what? If you really
there's football every day of the week. There's Monday Night Football.
Sure.
When you get to a certain point in the season, the MAC will play on a Tuesday.
Yeah, because that's how they get national coverage.
They'll play on Wednesdays.
Yep.
Then you get the big Thursday night NFL game. You get a Thursday night college game. Then Friday, less stuff on Friday.
You know what? Okay,
college games, but
American football fans.
Saturday and Sunday.
American football fans, if you want football to watch on Friday and you don't want to be creepy, watch the CFL.
There you go.
We've got games on Friday.
Yeah, and they're played by adults.
And they're played by adults. You're not, like, critiquing children. You're not watching kids.
I mean, I guess watching it isn't bad. It's when people know too much about the team. It's like, oh, yeah, well, Simmons over there, he's a sophomore. It's like, how do you know that?
I'm going to link you guys to a website that will just make you want to just stop the world and step off.
Have you hacked into school files? Have you seen the it's like, what's going on?
Me?
No, not you. I'm just like, in general, these people.
If he doesn't pass his chemistry final on Thursday, he may not be able to play.
Check out this site.
And it's like, how do you know that he has a chemistry final?
It's called jjhuddle.com. It is devoted entirely to high school sports.
Oh yeah, no, there's California versions of it,
and they have discussion boards, and you would not believe the people that get on these boards. And you think we've got some nutty people on our boards? Oh my God,
I'm going to go to the forums. I'm not now. After the show, after we're done recording, I'm going to the forums and I'm poking around. I'm seeing what people are talking about, and then I'll probably stare at myself in the mirror for a long time, and then I'll take a deep, long, I'll contemplate.
Yeah, it's disturbing, but I don't know.
Guys,
it's people
Americans,
what they do.
Americans watch CFL on Friday nights. Come on, that's your football fix for Friday if you need it.
I'm with you on that.
You got America's team, the Edmonton Eskimos. Come on.
Okay.
Greg, I think we won't be able to pull Greg away. We won't be able to pull Greg away from the TV when the Edmonton Eskimos play the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Hell no.
There's oh my God. There's a wrestling sub-forum, a boys and girls soccer sub-forum.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's weird,
that's
man.
Creepy.
I've seen things that I just couldn't imagine an adult would do with in regard to a high school football or basketball game. It just blows my mind.
It's an open forum for coaches.
There's a political thread.
Of course.
No one slow this think tank down. No one slow this think tank down, guys. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's Tabs.
Zach's Tabs.
Well, not bad. You've been better.
There's been some interesting little demographical things that came out on Reddit over the last week. They did some surveys and polling to find who were the most hated teams in a couple leagues based on state or, in the NHL's case, province. Mm-hmm. And then the NHL one also has a continents map. So here's the NHL one first, because that is, of course, the official sport of Basically a Sports Show.
Yes,
if you look at the United States, some of it makes sense. A lot of Red Wings, Blackhawks in the Midwest, some St. Louis Blues in Illinois, Penguins, some Bruins here and there. The Kings on the West Coast. The Ducks apparently have some hatred in Kansas and Oklahoma. Texas kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I just assumed Oklahoma was North Texas, so.
Yeah. And Kansas, I guess, fuck if I know. But Ottawa is the most hated team in Wyoming, and the Vancouver Canucks, the most hated team in Alabama.
Really?
Well, just to make a point about Alabama, this is a state where 82% of them don't believe they're in the South, so nothing surprises me out of those guys.
Well, they're not believing that they're in the South. They believe they're Alabama.
Right. But, yeah, Vancouver, wonder how the hell does that happen?
How the hell does Wyoming hate the
Maybe there's some...
I just don't get...
Who hates the Senators? I don't know. Nobody actually hates the Senators. The Senators hate a lot of other people, but I can't think of anyone that actually has an opinion.
It's just so funny because you look at this map, and right in the middle of this giant swath of Red Wing, there's this little Ottawa Senators thing.
Yep.
Well, look at Nevada. They hate the Bruins.
Well, yeah, that's probably just...
The Bruins actually have a wide swath of hatred. Like, when you combine...
Well, when you look at Canada, every province in Canada, except for Alberta, hates the Bruins.
Oh, my God.
Alberta hates the Canucks.
And then for some stupid reason, the Winnipeg Jets are the most hated team in Africa.
Yeah, when you look at the worldwide continent.
That's weird. Why would that be?
And the Canadians are apparently not all that big in South America.
Oh, okay. In case you're wondering, Africa hates the Winnipeg Jets because of one user. It looks like one guy.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's one guy who just really hates.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking too. Probably what happened with the Senators and the Canucks in Alabama would be my guess.
So it probably happened.
Winnipeg, after this little thing came out, the Jets official Twitter feed, they tweeted out the picture of this. Like, was it something we said?
I'll tell you what happened. So you know how the Thrashers moved to Winnipeg really soon, like really into the off season, and they didn't have a lot of time to get settled. There's probably a lot of Atlanta Thrashers merchandise they had to send to Africa. And so, like, there's one guy who's like, I'm sick of seeing all this stupid Atlanta Thrashers crap. Fuck you, Winnipeg.
They're all pissed off because their team moved. Yeah.
Let's see. Next, this one makes a little bit more sense.
Okay.
It's the NFL.
Okay. I haven't seen
this is going to be interesting.
It actually makes sense. The only one that's kind of weird is apparently New Mexico and Arizona hate the Steelers.
Huh.
Yeah,
but everything else makes sense.
Well, if you think about it,
in California,
Arizona and New Mexico,
in the Northwest.
Well, who beat the Cardinals in the Super Bowl that year? Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Green Bay's hated in Minnesota. The Bears are hated in Wisconsin. Green Bay's also hated in Illinois.
Yeah,
the Dakotas hate the Vikings.
I think that the Green Bay thing in Illinois, I got to think Andy's responsible for at least 80% of that.
He's just clicking dislike over.
The Raiders are hated in Colorado, in Kansas. The Broncos are hated in Missouri.
Okay, here's an interesting one. Pennsylvania, it's the Cowboys.
Eagles.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Okay. Here's
one. Of Pittsburgh.
Florida hates the Patriots.
Dolphins.
Yeah. That used to be a big rivalry.
But there's two other teams in Florida that you think those fans would balance that out.
You think the Jags fans?
Oh, that's true. They probably don't care enough.
I am happy to see that my Cleveland Browns are nowhere to be seen on this map, so that's kind of nice. Or have I just not gone far enough?
Who can hate the Browns?
Oh, it's possible. Believe me.
Yeah, and Indiana hates the Patriots because of the old Colts rivalry. It all makes sense.
Yeah, there's really nothing on here
the Texans.
That's kind of strange.
Yeah, the argument that they make in this article, which I don't understand, the Tennessee Titans once played in Houston, so it's natural their fans don't like the Houston Texans.
Yeah,
that's kind of a...
You stole their team, and now you're going to hate their new one? That makes no sense.
I mean, they're in the same division, but you would think that they'd hate the Colts more.
Yeah. I've never heard of the Texans-Titans being like a huge rivalry or anything.
No.
Although apparently Louisiana really hates the Falcons, and then Georgia.
The little rivalry that could. The Saints and the Falcons.
They sure care about it.
They care about it. No one else does, but they seem to.
And the last one I have, and this one's a little bit more straightforward too, with maybe one surprising, not too surprising, but kind of surprising, the baseball map.
If this thing isn't completely Boston Red Sox,
no.
But it's Pacers Yankees.
It's mostly Yankees.
Yeah, I guess. There's a lot of Boston on there too, though. Or no, is that Blue
Boston,
Yankees?
There's Cardinals.
Cardinals not getting nearly as much hate as you guys would hope. I think here.
The Dodgers.
I don't know. I do like
the Cubs are in Little Rock.
That's weird.
Arkansas.
In Arkansas, they're Cardinals. A lot of Cardinals fans in Arkansas.
And then the Angels in Texas.
Yeah.
I like how all of the Midwest hates the Cardinals except Missouri.
And they hate the Red Sox. Well, this is funny, Zach, because Rangers fans seem to think there's a bigger rivalry with the Angels than the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you two are Angels fans. Do you care? Are you really gung ho about that Rangers-Angels rivalry?
Not really.
I hate the A's more.
Yeah, I don't care about the Rangers make no difference to me one way or the other. I think
it was annoying when they got good for a while because it's like, hey, weren't you supposed to suck?
Yeah, I will say this. They had, I think, probably the coolest championship ring I've ever seen was their 2011 AL Champions ring. Was really sharp. That's about all I know about them. And
I didn't think that the Braves hated the Nationals that quickly, but I guess they do.
Yeah, that's funny. That thing.
I just think they hate the Phillies or something.
I just love that huge swath of Yankees hatred.
Just a giant logo behind the whole country. Speaking of baseball.
More baseball.
Strange occurrence in the Indians-Reds game last Tuesday.
Okay.
David Murphy of the...
was this for the Ohio Cup?
This is, yes, for the vaunted Ohio Cup.
Yeah, that's a stupid-ass thing.
What, you're not going to... I mean, you lost to the Reds this year, Greg. How are the Indians going to come back?
I really don't give a flying fuck, to be honest.
How are they going to capture the Ohio Cup?
Anyway, Yan Gomes hit an RBI double, right? That's fine. But David Murphy, he stepped off third base for a second and got thrown out. They're like, well, what happened? Well, what happened was the bullpens in Progressive Field are in right field, with the pitchers throwing towards the field and the catchers being basically up against the backside of the wall.
Right.
One of the pitchers overthrew his catcher. Catcher could not catch. But this was just as the right fielder for the Reds was trying to field the ball. And it came out right next to where he was. So the Reds outfielder threw it to second base. But David Murphy, as he's rounding the bases, he goes to locate the ball and sees the ball sitting in right field. So he's like, I'm going to take off from third base. Until he realized, wait, that's the wrong baseball. And he got thrown out at third. I mean, here's a link to the video of it.
Yeah, this is going to be good.
It's better if you actually see it.
All right, here we go. Yeah, you would think there would be something you could do about that, but I guess if things are happening, what are you supposed to do? You can't just stop the play, right?
No, he just lost the. He saw a different baseball. I guess they could have called the play dead or something.
Yeah, but
and just said, "Well, you're whatever base you're at, stay."
Oops, that probably would have been the wise choice, but
that's great.
I got to get through the Mini Wheats commercial here. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I've got Michelob Ultra.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh no!
Yeah, so it gets hit into right field, and you watch the bullpen.
They saw the ball come up.
Look. So, he's okay. Everything's fine. They're at second base, and wait, why are they throwing a third? What is he? He's just like, what? And at first, the announcers, if you hear them, they're just like, what was he doing? Why would he do that? And it takes them a couple tries to finally see the baseball.
Yep, there it is.
Yep. He caught the wrong ball.
Only in Cleveland.
Yeah. Cleveland
rock.
Let's see. Moving on. An update on a previous story that I brought to you guys in last week's edition of the Tabs. We mentioned the Sun Devils.
Yeah.
Taking away kegs in the parking lot. Well, now there's a prohibited items list that came out for when people go to visit Sun Devil Stadium this year. And most of it makes sense. Glass containers, thermoses, bikes, skateboards, no bags larger than this big, no firearms.
Yeah, you don't want really probably to have guns at a ASU tailgate.
Arizona's you can bring your guns wherever you want.
Yeah, because that's the smart thing to do is put guns with a bunch of drunk people. Nothing bad ever happens from that.
One of the items on the list, and I can't believe they're going to do this, and this kills me. On the prohibited items list, tortillas.
Huh?
What?
You're not allowed to bring tortillas into the stadium.
Okay,
why?
What's the logic behind that?
Well, apparently, something that's done. I never saw it done, so I didn't know if this was some sort of be a tradition or something. But sometimes people will take tortillas in there and they'll throw them because they're shaped like frisbees.
Huh.
Okay, but I can't imagine hurting anyone with you get a Tostito or a Dorito upside the head, and what happens? Nothing.
Well, but it's not that you're going to hurt somebody; it's that you delay the game, or
yeah. And
apparently, this isn't just a problem at ASU, as they banned tortillas at Texas Tech, UC Santa Barbara. Baylor students have a tradition where they throw tortillas off a bridge.
It's the Southwest, though. I assume that's like all that they eat there.
We don't make sandwiches out here. We just make tortillas.
I can't imagine a sporting event where you can't get nachos. That just makes no sense.
Well, no, but it's not the tortilla chips. It's a tortilla.
Oh, okay.
Like the actual tortilla.
Oh, so you can still throw Doritos and Tostitos and all that if you want to.
Well, we're playing for some of the Tostitos, not all of them. Anyway, just some.
Well, no, you're not playing for the Tostitos anymore.
That's right.
I said some of them, not all of them. Interesting story out of Montreal.
Oh.
In New Brunswick, a 8-year-old boy playing down in the river, doing what he does, and pulled out a 1945-46 Montreal Canadiens Stanley Cup ring.
Cool.
He's got pictures of it and everything. It's all intact. It looks pretty legit. Looks like it belonged to 96-year-old Elmer Locke.
Wow.
Who's a native of Saskatchewan.
That's a nice looking ring.
Yeah.
So what's he going to do with it?
Hopefully try to get it back to the 96-year-old man.
Oh, he's still alive. Well, okay.
Well, yeah, he does fishing trips in eastern Canada. So
that's probably what happened.
He's probably been like, you know what? I'll bet you he dropped that thing in the water and thought, well, fuck it, I'll never see it again, and that's that. And
yeah,
wow, cool. That's a good looking ring. I'm surprised it's in that good a shape.
We'll move on back to football.
Hey,
God football!
We can't get enough football.
So hopefully this is just one of those stupid things that comes with the preseason local coverage of games. But this is what, if you watched the NFL Network and you saw the Baltimore-San Francisco preseason game, this is what you saw on the field when teams got inside the 20. You were treated to
the Toyota
Red Zone.
Lord.
A giant imposed graphic over the field.
No,
says
no, I don't like this.
Don't you think that would have the reverse effect because it's so annoying that you would say, you know what, I'm not going to buy anything from these guys? Because that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There were commercials. I mean, I refuse to this day to buy a pair of Levi Dockers. I just won't do it.
It's
because
like
the commercials drove me fucking nuts. I hated them.
It's like in hockey when some of the networks, they do the self-imposed graphics on like the glass behind the net.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand you're trying to find wherever you can to sell some more space, but keep the graphic ones off the field.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, it's not like it's actually painted on the field. I mean, it's just a graphic, but this one's in the way, you know? Especially when the 49ers are red. And it's a 49ers station, so it's just in the way.
Yeah, that's just too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd even be okay. Look, I understand, like you said, you got to get your money where you can get it, and you're getting your preseason local coverage. You're getting 4 games a year. You got to cash in. But I would be okay with even just a little, maybe a box up in the corner. But this is just absurd.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
And the last NFL broadcasting note. I know our conversation got cut out of last week's show, where we talked about Ray Rice and ESPN defending him.
Oh, well, you know, that actually didn't get cut out. I don't want to admit this, but what we got was really nice a few minutes of us talking in between segments because I had gotten my buttons mixed up. So it didn't get cut out. It just never happened.
Well, anyway, we had a very nice discussion. And, ESPN had gone out of their way to kind of be lenient on Ray Rice. And that includes, pregame before the Baltimore Ravens preseason game. Sal Paolantonio, a good, respected reporter at ESPN, guy that you would think would ask some tough questions.
Such as it is. Yeah, go ahead.
Before the game, he got Ray Rice and pulled him aside and asked him what his wife's pregame words of encouragement were.
Does she...
Was it please, not again?
I would think that it would have been great if she had said, my words are, go fuck yourself. But, wow. What did she say?
I didn't actually play the video yet, so I don't know if he...
Well, I don't know that, yeah.
But,
nice job, Sal.
Yeah.
ESPN can go blow themselves.
Oh, she wishes him luck? She says go out there and do your job? It is his job on the football field, and this is how he gets to take care of his family.
Speaking of football and all that, has anybody seen week 1 of Hard Knocks with the Atlanta Falcons?
I forgot that it was on.
I don't care enough about the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, it was on HBO, so I decided, well, you know what, I'll watch it, and I'm watching it, and what's the guy's name? Biernan, the linebacker, I think?
Oh, yeah.
His wife is a reality TV star.
Okay.
And she's just as annoying as you would think she would be. I just wanted to bring that up.
Good.
With Hard Knocks, at least it was interesting when they had Rex Ryan and the Jets because that team was just a circus.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that nobody wants to be on it anymore.
No.
So now it's just like the Atlanta felt like Matt Ryan seems like a really boring kind of guy, and so I don't.
He seems like a really nice guy. I'll say that.
I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Matty
but I'm just,
Nice.
Matty Nice, yeah, that's him. Yeah, Matty Nice.
I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but does that make for compelling television?
Not particularly.
I don't want to watch, Matt Ryan going around being pleasant to people.
There is a rookie linebacker, I can't remember his name, but he is going to be interesting until he gets cut because he clearly knows he's on television. He's starting fights with anybody he can, and that was pretty interesting. But anyway, go ahead, Zach. Move along here.
Last one. We'll go back to baseball. And I don't know how you didn't hear about this, Greg.
Maybe I did.
The San Francisco Giants, they visited the Mets over the weekend. And some Mets fans, they just stained the reputation of Hunter Pence. They really came at him with both barrels fully blazing. And they brought some signs to the game. I don't know how his reputation is going to come back after such barbs as Hunter Pence puts ketchup on his hot dog. And he
Hunter Pence can't parallel park.
Can't parallel park.
He likes Godfather 3.
Oh, that's a deal breaker to me.
13 items to the express lane.
Good stuff.
Thinks Game of Thrones is just okay.
Hunter Pence hates bacon.
Can't shuffle playing cards.
Hunter Pence prefers baths.
And then
still has a blockbuster card.
When the Giants moved on to Milwaukee, the Milwaukee fans decided to take on this great legacy and make fun of Hunter Pence. But apparently Hunter Pence, taking this in stride, and responded with some memes of his own. In a luxury car, he says that Hunter Pence can parallel park. Hunter Pence returns library books before they're due so others can enjoy them as well. And then his girlfriend even got in on it with Hunter Pence makes his girlfriend watch the Weather Channel for fun.
Well, I think that this is nice. Just nice.
You know what?
Good-natured fun.
I like that he returns library books before they're due.
Yeah.
I mean, that is considerate.
It is. I just got to say, though, if he really does like The Godfather 3, I'm cutting him from my fantasy team.
I mean, how can you trust the judgment of someone who likes
Exactly. Because he's tearing it up for me. I got him in like the 5th or 6th round this year, and he has just been a steal. Mm-hmm. Speaking of fantasy baseball, Zach, you and I are headed to a clash in the Asylum League World Series or whatever it's called, in the league that no one pays any attention to.
Did you guys get to the championship game?
Not yet, but we're going to.
Okay.
Well, you know what's funny, Greg?
You're not even
I'm winning all these games that I haven't set my lineup in months.
Well, you and I, my Prestonsburg coal miners, will be taking on the California Blaze, it looks like, if things hold the form.
Oh, I could have fixed them. I should move my lineup around
now.
The
Blaze?
The California Blaze are 10-5-2, which he might actually have more wins than that. I think one of those ties is a win.
I think I'm 12-5.
And the Prestonsburg coal miners are 13-3, or 13-4, I believe, is what our record is.
Yeah,
I'm a game behind you, so that's right.
I've got to kick the CHL into gear. It's about time to start revving things up this season.
Yeah, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Go!
Commissioner.
I can't wait. My Toledo Gold Diggers had a really good first season last year.
The Montreal Maroons will be back to defend our championship.
We're coming for you.
Thunder Bay Bolts, they had a little mishap there in the playoffs. But, a full year with a healthy Steven Stamkos, and we'll be on top of the league.
If I had just picked up another goalie somewhere along the way, I would have been there. But I did not, and that's just the way it goes in the rough and tumble world of the CHL.
But hey, you know what? You're not given anything in the CHL.
That's right. It's earned. That's why I came home to it. All right.
I mean, the rest of our league sucks, but it's you and me, Greg. you, me, and Vancouver. I'm talking about
the baseball league.
Oh, sorry. Who is Vancouver?
Who is Vancouver?
Well, that's a good question.
Time to go to the asylum to figure it out.
Let's see here. Vancouver North Stars. That would be Randy C. from the boards.
That's got a nice ring to it, actually, Vancouver North Stars.
Our hockey league over there, we have the Vancouver Skookumchucks.
This is going to make up for the 1 hour show you got last week. We're not cutting a word out of this one this week. It's going to press exactly as is. So we hope you enjoy it.
Well, screw you guys. I don't want to work.
Anyway, follow us at Basically a Sports Show. Or no, that's not right.
Yeah.
At Basically Sports.
At Basically Sports.
On Twitter.
You can email us at basicallysportshow@gmail.com.
Right. And you can go to the website, basicallyasportshow.com. And Basically a Football Show will be coming back for its second season here shortly.
Yeah, we got to get going here, and I think 2 weeks we'll probably have our first preview. Probably
Yes, sir.
The NCAA.
Yeah. And
the NFL right after that. And then, hey, guess what? We're 3 weeks away from college football season.
And we're closing in on the 2-year anniversary of Basically a Sports Show, hard as that is to believe.
Yeah, 2-year extravaganza. You can send cake to basicallyasportshow@gmail.com.
And Mike, I just want to congratulate
P.O. Box
him.
756.
I want to congratulate Mike on 6 months already of Basically a Geek Show.
Woo!
Well, that one flying by.
So anyway, I didn't even realize it until, we were recording.
So with that, we're going to call it a night. We'll see you all next time right here on Basically a Sports Show.
Night.
Please hang up and try again.